Chalo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go ahead. Today, if I tell you that I am doing with you two. नहीं, two of what? Two of HUF नहीं, two of residential status. The name of the assessee is, हाँ तो ladies and gentlemen, we are doing CA, Inter, Tax, DT, chapter number 2, residential status and scope of total income. Taxpayers will be divided into resident and non-resident, and incomes will be divided into Indian income and foreign income. Resident will have to pay tax on Indian income or foreign income, both global income. Non-resident will have to pay tax on Indian income, because globally there are two principles of levy of tax: residence and source. So residence world income, non-resident Indian income will be taxable. Therefore, resident Indian income taxable, resident foreign income taxable, non-resident Indian income taxable, only non-resident foreign income not taxable. For this we need to understand who is resident, who is non-resident. That is still going on, part 1, residential status. After this we go to what is Indian income, what is foreign income. So under residential status we have completed the biggest part, that is residential status of individual. Individual will be divided into resident and non-resident. Resident will be further divided into ROR and RNOR. Step number 1, resident or non-resident. Condition 1, 182 days or more during the previous year. Condition 2, 60 days or more during the previous year and 365 days or more during 4 immediately preceding previous year. However, this is not applicable to citizen of India going outside for earning or citizen of India or person of Indian origin coming for a visit. However, if the person comes for a visit and the income exceeds 15 lakhs, which income? All Indian incomes, and foreign incomes if controlled from India, if that total. So what are we excluding in this total? The only thing that we exclude is foreign domestic local income. If other than that your total income exceeds 15 lakh, then we will reapply the condition in a modified version, 120 days in the previous year and 365 days in the last 4 years. And third condition, deemed to be resident without ever coming to India. If you are a citizen and you are not a resident in any other country and that income exceeds 15 lakh, the same income, then you will be considered deemed to be a resident. You fulfill any one of the 3 conditions, you will be a resident. If you are a resident, then and only then you perform step number 2, because ordinary, not ordinary division is only under resident, no such division under non-resident. So condition 1, 730 days during last 7 years and minimum 2 out of last 10 years you have to be a resident, and this time they are cumulative, so you fulfill both, then you become ROR. You dissatisfy any one, so you become RNOR, and you dissatisfy both, so you become RNOR only. Correct, eh? Because if you were non-resident, you will never perform only your step number 2. Correct? And then these 2 people whom we are deeming to be resident because of 15 lakhs income, 120 days condition and deemed resident condition, they will always be declared as RNOR, because we want to target only which foreign incomes, those which are being controlled from India. Even in the 15 lakh ka threshold, we are taking only that income. Correct? Fantastic. Now residential status of HUF. Just like individual, HUF is also divided into resident and non-resident. And if resident, HUF will be further divided into ROR and RNOR. So one more time, we will be having 2 steps. In step number 1, we will be learning whether the HUF is resident or non-resident. In step number 2, we will be learning whether the HUF is ROR or RNOR. One more time, step number 2 will be conducted only and only if the answer to step number 1 is resident. If answer to step number 1 is non-resident, obviously there is no step number 2. Correct? Eh? Individual residential status consumed the entire lecture because there were too many conditions. We had to check physical presence. For an entity like HUF, in fact for anybody other than individual, whether company, firm, etc., please use your brain and understand, we cannot be checking physical presence. Physical presence of what? The memorandum of association or the partnership deed? Physical presence cannot be criteria in any of the other assessees. So for the other assessees, to start with HUF, later we go to the other assessees also. We are going to, for the purpose of your determination of residential status, step number 1, we are deciding this, resident or non-resident. We are going to check the control and management of this HUF. We are going to check basically what is the place of decision making? Where are the management decisions, the business decisions, the day-to-day decisions of this HUF taken? We can't check physical presence, please understand, because HUF is an artificial person. Sir, how is an HUF created, in case you have anxiety to know? Because if you create HUF, it will be treated as a separate assessee, and HUF will pay tax, then you don't have to pay tax. We discussed that income will be taxable for HUF, and then when distributed to the member, then member does not have to pay tax again. So how to create HUF? If HUF brings tax benefit, you don't get excited and say, sir, today only I will open HUF. No. For opening HUF, you need to first get married. So you decide whether you want to take such a big risk for only saving tax. If you are already getting married, then you are already taking the risk, then better save the tax also. You have to get married. The day I got married, on that same day, the date of registration of the PAN card of my HUF, the date of creation of my HUF, you can call it date of incorporation of HUF, is my wedding date. Same date, I made an affidavit considering that I, a follower of Hindu Succession Act. Hindu Succession Act is followed by Hindu, Jain, Sikh and Buddhist. So only people belonging to these religions are allowed to open HUF. I, a follower of Hindu Succession Act, got married on this particular date, and same day I have created my Hindu undivided family. The family will be headed by me, being the Karta, and the following people are the members of this HUF. At that time I only wrote my wife ka name, and you have to mention relation, obviously spouse. This has to be done on a stamp paper. Then you have to take this stamp paper to the court, register this stamp paper with the court. Notary is what people call it. You have to get the court ka stamp on it. This will become legal recognition of HUF. This creates your HUF. This affidavit is your HUF. With this affidavit, I sent a copy of this to the income tax department, and I was allocated a PAN card in the name of HUF, where date of incorporation in your PAN card, date of birth is written. In company ka PAN or HUF ka PAN, they write date of incorporation. It is exactly my wedding date because affidavit ka date was that only. I got a PAN card. With this PAN card, I opened one account, bank account, and now I am getting income in the name of HUF. I can divert my income. Anybody here has any income tax officer, commissioner, deputy commissioner, assistant commissioner, joint commissioner in their family, friends, relatives, known circles? No? Okay. So I am diverting my income in the income of HUF to take tax benefit. Who is the owner of SS Co Education? Do one thing now, go to the website and buy something. You will come to know which account the money is going. For knowledge perspective, buy something. The moment you scan the QR code, your UPI app will tell you that name of the beneficiary, you are transferring funds to the following account. It is HUF. The whole organization is owned by the HUF. My trademark is a registered trademark in the name of my HUF. Who is the owner of that trademark? HUF. Who is getting all the money from sale of video lectures and sale of books? HUF. I just had to make one affidavit. It is existing only on a piece of paper. And as I say it again, you don't get excited, sir. If HUF saves tax, I will open it today itself. No, bro. It will take some time. And that also only Hindu, Jain, Sikh, Buddhist. Only they can save this tax. So I have one of my friends, follower of Islam, Matin. He one day suddenly approached me, you teach tax to the whole world. Can you give me an idea of saving tax? Please give. With friends, you can do it. With friends, the kind of relation, he can also say anything to me. He does say, I am not going to share with you what he said to me, that I will not say. But what I told him, I can. I said, bro, open HUF. He's like, you know, I cannot open. And bro, convert no convert. With friends, we can. No? As a friends, we don't get offended with each other. Obviously, in return, the words that he spoke, that I am not going to say in class. Huh. But that is how we share relations with our friends. He cannot open HUF. Sir, now, is it not unfair? Sir, listen. By the way, the concept of HUF was not introduced by Modi. HUF is existing since decades. And no government on this planet in our country, India, will ever abolish the concept of HUF. All governments know that HUF is being used to divert your incomes and to save tax. But they will not abolish HUF. Because if they abolish HUF, they will never be voted to power again. End of the day, it is a Hindu dominated country. Plus, you add the population of Jain, Sikh, Buddhist, who in population wise may be minority communities. In the minority communities notified in our country, Muslim, Christian, Parsi, Jain, Sikh and Buddhist. So Jain, Sikh and Buddhist that way in terms of population are minorities. But they have massive contribution in terms of funds when it comes to election funding, when politicians need money. So these communities are giving huge amount of funds. So they don't want to offend them also because they are also taking benefit of HUF. So end of the day, even when we know that HUF is being used for evasion of taxes, no government, they consider it as normal loss. No government is ever going to abolish the concept of HUF. But the only thing is, to save those taxes, you will have to first get married. So only to save taxes, do you want to take the risk? Choice is yours. If you have already taken the risk, then save the taxes. It is like that. So do you realize HUF exists only on that piece of paper affidavit? So we can't be checking physical presence. What will you see? Affidavit was in India or outside India for 182 days. What if it was in my laptop? Soft copy. What if I have uploaded it in my Gmail, my Google Drive? It is on some server. You can't decide on the basis of physical presence. So what are you going to check? The place of decision making. Where are the decisions of this HUF being taken? That will decide the residential status. And following are the possibilities. Possibility 1. All decisions of this HUF are taken in India. The decision making is wholly in India. We have to decide on the basis of this whether the HUF is resident or non-resident. My son is now almost 6 years old. Even he will answer this. That much tax he has in his blood. If you are not answering, then it's big trouble already. And even if you are answering, you are not doing anything great, but please answer. What do you think is the answer? If all the decisions are taken in India, then the HUF will be obviously resident. If all the decisions are taken outside India, the decision making is wholly, completely outside India. Again, a 6-year-old will answer this. The HUF is non-resident. But if the decision making is partly in India, partly outside India, this can be a question for a CA student. Think about it. Wholly in India, wholly outside India, very easy to identify, obviously. But when some decisions are taken in India, some decisions are taken outside India, then what is going to be the residential status of the HUF? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, our government wants you to become resident at the earliest possible opportunity. Give reason why? Because if you become resident, you pay tax on global income. So they want you to become resident as soon and as early as possible. So the only worst possibility of only outside India, they cannot touch you. Otherwise, one decision also taken in India, believe me, one decision also. We are not checking a ratio. Sir, more than 50% decision or 90% decision. Sir, 1 lakh decisions outside India, one decision in India, one decision in India, the HUF will be declared to be resident. Of course, a very good student will ask a question. Sir, the HUF is created in India. The creation ka decision, registration of affidavit, all those decisions were taken in India. Then to sir, you are saying even one decision taken in India and become resident. So obviously, if it is created in India, it has to be resident. Sir, but you are not understanding one thing. In the year of creation, of course, yes, because that decision was taken. But next year it is possible, no, all decisions are taken outside India. We are not thinking about residential status of 1 year. Supposedly after creation and registration, all the family members have shifted abroad. Now, full financial year, all decisions are taking place. So now you can become non-resident. Or we can say in the year of creation, you will always be resident because some decision will be in India. And even if one decision is in India, you are going to be treated as resident. Understood? Over step number 1. And I hope you are not thinking, sir, for individual, you consumed whole lecture in step number 1. So no. Step 2, 730 days and 2 out of last 10 years we did in the last 15 minutes. So 3 hours, 45 minutes we did only step 1. Sir, individual took full lecture for step 1. HUF you are finishing in less than 20 minutes. Sir, will HUF not feel bad? It does not have feelings. No, it does not have feelings. It is over. What is the conclusion? One decision also in India, HUF will be considered as. Bas, topic over. Are you clear on this? Fantastic. Now we go to step number 2. What are we deciding in step number 2? HUF is ROR or? Do we also understand that this step is going to be conducted only and only if the HUF is? Because if the HUF is non-resident, step 2 is never going to be conducted. They have given us 2 conditions. And between these 2 conditions, they have written the word and. And means you have to satisfy both. If you satisfy both, so you will become R1. If you were physically present in India for 730 days or more during the last 7 years and you are a resident in at least 2 out of last 10 years, then we will declare you ROR and cumulative condition. Sir, I have heard these conditions somewhere. Sir, I have seen these conditions somewhere, sir. The same 2 conditions exist in step number 2 of individual also. So for individual also, ROR and RNOR, we checked 730 days in last 7 years and resident in 2 out of last 10 years and cumulative condition. Correct? Same 2 conditions here also. Obviously, only if resident. First, when will HUF become resident? Even if one decision is taken in India, HUF is resident. And after that, for ordinary, not ordinary, you will go and check 730 days and 2 out of last. You want to ask something? Then ask now. Any decision that you are asking for step 1. Any decision. Formation decision, creation decision, investment decision, registration of trademark decision. What should be the pricing of the product that I am selling ka decision? Who we will give the contract of designing my website ka decision? Any decision. That question is about step number 1. Any kind of decision, small or big, taken in India, it will be considered as resident. For step number 2, you want to ask something? Come on. This is the right time to show your intelligence or talent if you have.
So, HUF is created on affidavit, so how can we calculate 730 days?
Don't you think so? You should have asked this question. Think about it. Sir, I explained the full condition. On the basis of this understanding, sir, HUF is artificial person. Created on a piece of paper affidavit. And therefore, we cannot check number of days not applicable, 182, 63, 65, cannot apply. Thus, we checked what? Control and manage. We can't check number of days, therefore we check. Then sir, how can you give us the condition of number of days? Because HUF is artificial person. You understood or no? These 2 conditions you will have to check for the karta. Means step 1, you check decision making of the HUF. Even one decision taken in India, HUF has become resident. Now for step 2, go and check Karta stayed. If Karta has stayed in India for 730 days or more during the last 7 years, and Karta has been a resident in 2 out of last 10 years, then HUF will become ROR. Means step number 2 will be performed not on the HUF. We can't check 730 days for the HUF. Step number 2 will be performed on the Karta. Step number 2 will be performed on the Karta. Did you understand? This is rubbish, illogical, nonsense, weird. We have some Hindi words, bakwas, vahiyat. We have some Malayalam words, pottan, mandan. Tamil maybe hoga, but you identify such silly, stupid words. What do you call stupid, silly, illogical? Any common word for all these things in Tamil? Sir, you don't know Tamil. No problem. Sir, whose residential status you are checking? HUF. Control and management you check for whom? Obviously the HUF. Then how can you check Karta who is a different assessee? See, think about it. Me as an individual, I am a separate assessee from the HUF that I have created. If I have a firm, that firm is separate. If I have a company, that company is separate. My identity in income tax is different from the identity of my HUF in income. So you check for HUF. So when you checked my residential status, you check my 182 days, my 6365, my 12365, my income 15 lakh. Makes sense. For my case of ROR or NOR, you check my 730 days, my 2 out of 10. Fantastic. Now you come to HUF, so you should check everything about HUF. So control and management also you check about. And then when it comes to the additional conditions of step number 2, you are not checking HUF, you are checking. This is nonsense of the highest level in income tax law. Our income tax law at 95, 96, 95% plus cases and places is a beautiful law, very, very logically written law. Every section has reason behind creation, just that you need someone to identify that reason. And I always say this, nothing is bigger than logic. If you know the logic, you automatically understand what is the law. But there are these handful cases, about 10, 15, 20 cases, where the income tax law has been absolutely disastrous, rubbish, nonsense, illogical part. Very few such cases. And your first experience of that such case is this case where you are checking residential status of HUF, but you will be performing the step number 2 on the Karta, who is a different separate assessee determined for residential status, but check the Karta. Absolutely illogical. And there are a few places where our income tax law is illogical. Most places it is logical. I will find out that logic and tell you the logic. I have identified the logic. I will tell you the logic. I will tell you the reason. But these single digit places, single digit, little over 10, not single digit, but 10 to 20 places where income tax law is absolutely logical, I have identified all of them also. This is just the first place. You will get to see more and more. One will come in this chapter itself. You will get to see more and more such cases. Total, interfinal, totally you will get about 10, 20 cases where income tax law is illogical. And I always say this to every batch that I go, that all these mistakes of income tax law will soon be rectified. Bola, how? How? I am saying these are mistakes, and these mistakes are since years now, but they will soon be rectified. One day when I become the finance minister of the country, very soon, it is a matter of time. Talks are going on. Announcement can come at any time. But don't worry, I will still complete your batch. And just imagine, and by the way, even after completing the batch and after becoming finance minister, I will continue my profession, because ministers are allowed to continue their personal business profession. So my profession, I don't have to stop. And just imagine finance minister himself teaching income tax. Whatever I teach is the law. Supposingly I go to class and teach a wrong section. There's no problem. Next day I will amend the law. You've seen that? Shivgami Devi. Shivgami Devi, mera vachan hi hai shasan. What I say is final. Are Bahubali. हाँ. So yes, these mistakes of income tax law will soon be rectified, soon be corrected. One such place is this. We are checking residential status for HUF, but we are applying the conditions on Karta. Is that clear? But of course, with this, HUF ka residential status is over. So step number one, what do we do? Decide whether HUF is resident or non-resident. How to decide that? Control and management. If the control and management is wholly in India, wholly outside India, partly in India, one decision also in India, resident. If resident, then perform the second step on the Karta. 730 days in last 7 years and resident in 2 out of last 10 years. So HUF will be declared as R1. And if any of the condition is dissatisfied by the Karta, so HUF will be declared as RN. ये clear है? Fantastic. Let's go ahead. Next. I am now going to be doing with you AOP BOI. Firm, and firm obviously will include LLP, local authority, and artificial juridical person together. Sir, see, we are doing residential status. In individual, we consumed an entire lecture. Others we did not start also. And then we need to learn, 9 plus 3, 14 chapters of income calculation and tax calculation. So, fatafat, we will have to finish the syllabus. So, to rush your syllabus and to finish it fast, I am merging 3-4 things I am doing together. है ना? नहीं? Then why am I merging? Because they are same. I am never in a rush to finish syllabus. There is no pressure on me. And anybody who puts pressure on me, I don't work only with them. That you have to finish the syllabus in these many hours. Otherwise, we will not pay you for the extra. I also don't get paid, by the way. Just in case you have jealousy. Oh, so you take more time, so you get paid. No. I don't get paid by the hour. So, whatever extra duration that I take compared to the standard time of completing direct tax, standard costing done. Yes. So, my variance is always adverse. I hope you are not wondering, sir, how do you know adverse variance, favorable variance? CA hai, bro. I know everything. I have taught accounts, costing, FM, DT, IDT, audit at inter and final. I have not taught law. Thank God I did not take up law as a subject because it is removed in final. And as far as your subjects like EIS is also removed, I believe. There used to be IT before that, computers ka paper iska, or for that matter today's strategic management. Even if my ancestors come back to the planet, no, they will not be able to teach. Why these subjects exist in CA, no one knows. Maybe only to maintain the pass percentage. Huh. Otherwise, just imagine a subject like strategic management is 50 marks and direct tax is 50 marks. Direct tax is core subject of chartered accountancy. How can you give the same weightage to direct tax and strategic management at intermediate? But somehow, any MS Dhoni fan here? No. See, whenever I ask these questions, no, you have to raise your hand. You are thinking inside yourself. How will I come to know? Within you, you are thinking, हाँ मैं, अरे, तो any MS Dhoni fan here? नहीं, हाँ. He always says that think about the controllables. Anything which is not in your control, don't bother about that. Only bother about the things that you are able to control. So we are able to only control what institute has decided, and direct tax, despite being the biggest subject in terms of size, gets weightage of only 50 marks. Strategic management is 50 marks. It will get over in 4, 5, 6, 7 lectures. Already over? Yes. 4, 5, 6, 7 lectures. 3 lectures. 50 marks. Done. Sorted. Khatam, bro. Because there is nothing in that subject. How does it deserve a weightage of 50 marks? It's a big question. Today I will tweet to ICAI, you retweet. Sir, simple hai. Taxation is core subject of the CA course. How can direct tax be 50 marks and strategic management also be 50 marks. There has to be some logic behind it. Just because you wanted to reduce number of papers. Acha bro, if you want to reduce number of papers, then remove strategic management. Accounts ko you are giving 100 marks, costing you are giving 100 marks, audit you are giving 100 marks. Then direct tax and indirect tax should get 100 marks because they are separate areas of practice. Okay, IDT will start, so you'll come to know how easy it is. Thank God it is merged with direct tax, so that at least even if we don't understand anything in direct tax, we can make our marks in indirect tax. This has been the strategy of a lot of students over the years. At inter, they get marks only in indirect tax. Then they cry in final when it comes to direct tax. Okay, so please take this suggestion of taking this subject very, very seriously here only, so that you have less trouble at final compared to others. In fact, I want to create a culture when you go to that articleship interview, when you go and work in a CA firm as an article, there will be articles who are superior to you 6 months before you, 1 year before you, 2 years before you, whose articleship is near completion when you are joining that firm. You should be appearing as more informed, somebody having more knowledge in the subject compared to your seniors also. It is like literally your seniors should come and ask you that how do you know so much? Where did you learn tax from? Chances are that senior will also be my student. Maybe that firm ka owner also will be my student. Both chances, high chances. Okay. But your fundamentals have to be very, very clear. I am not merging them because I want to rush your portion. I am never in a rush. I am merging them because their rules are same. The rule for AOP BOI firm includes LLP wherever we write firm, and local authority and artificial juridical person same. They are going to be divided into resident and non-resident. And that's it. Full stop. Finished. We have studied further division into ordinary, not ordinary. That further division exists only for individual HUF. For all the other assessees, we have 4 year and 1 more remaining. Company. There is no further break up. Hey Bhagwan. CA students, if I write this, you will go in some different. No further division. More appropriate. If I write no further breakup, the moment I see breakup, somebody singing in their mind again as usual, and come back to the zone. Because rule is very simple. You make yourself so capable that whoever decided to break up with you or say a no to you for any reason, one of the main reasons can be that you are not giving time at all. Sir, how will I give time? 8 hours I am spending here. Yeah, reaction, words being recorded. 8 hours you are spending here, then you are spending time for traveling, then self-study, revision, tests are being conducted. Sir, I am not able to give time. Make yourself so capable that they regret later. Whoever it is should regret later. Make yourself so capable. Education wise, education will bring money, and money will automatically bring personality. The way you speak, the way you dress up, everything changes with money. Even idiots look sensible when they have earned money. And that will happen with education. Focus on your education. Make yourself so good here that automatically everything will follow. Money will follow. You will develop that personality that people will be jealous of. And you don't have to run behind anyone. People will run behind you. Whether it is articleship interviews. You don't have to be going and requesting forms. Sir, please take me, no, take me, no. Just imagine you are a rank holder at CA inter exam. Preferably the top 10 rankers of the country. Just imagine the day. CA firms will be behind your life begging in front of you. Please join me. Please join me. There are 2 types of situations. You clearing with multiple attempts, then firms will reject you. And you clearing in first attempt with preferably a rank, then you will reject firms. The two situations you can face in your life: reject or get rejected. And believe me, when we reject, no, we get some inner satisfaction for any kind of thing when we reject. But when we are rejected, so that feeling is also a very, very sad feeling which we cannot share also with anyone. I have been through both. I rejected also and got rejected also. In all forms of life. Both have happened. And rejecting someone gives that inner pleasure. But being rejected gives equal amount of that sad kind of feeling. So you make yourself so good, so good, so good. Whoever says no to you should regret 10 years from today. Be focused. So come out of thoughts of that person. To hell with that person. Focus here. There is no further. Isliye I will avoid saying breakup. There is no further division. So the only classification is resident, non-resident, resident, non-resident. Or let me make this also clear for you. The concept of ROR, RNOR exists only and only in individual HUF. In other places, other cases, other assessees, there is no such division. So life is sorted. Resident will pay tax on global income. Non-resident will pay tax on Indian income. It is only when that ordinary, not ordinary came, no? So that confusion arises. Sir, what is the difference? Then I had to orally tell you that foreign income will be divided in two types. Domestic local income, only ROR will pay tax, but controlled from India, then ROR, RNOR both will pay tax. But in respect of other assessees, there is no such division. So only division is resident, non-resident. And what we studied at the beginning of the chapter: global income, Indian income, global income, Indian income. Story over. Foreign income will never be taxable, whether controlled from India or local, never be taxable. Things become very, very easy when it comes to the other assessees. Having said that, I must tell you one more thing. If you ever decide to open the plastic cover of ICAI study material, so in your direct tax ka module, you will clearly find this instruction that in this exam, we are going to test your knowledge of calculating total income and tax of individual and HUF. This subject in inter is only for knowledge of individual HUF. Believe me, if we don't do these assessees or company, etc., at inter it is okay. Because they will test you only on tax sections of individual and HUF. In CA final, we have chapters: assessment of cooperative societies, assessment of charitable trust, assessment of business trust, assessment of political parties, assessment of electoral trust. Means we have to learn how to calculate income and tax of all the other assessees. Assessment of partnership firms, chapter at CA final. So sections related to firms, companies, political parties, charitable trust, they are all taught in CA final. Inter syllabus is half of CA final. Half. You have to learn only individual HUF. So your knowledge of ordinary, not ordinary is required, because ordinary, not ordinary division exists only under individual HUF, and inter ka exam is based on individual HUF. Is that clear? So ROR, RNOR will exist only under individual and HUF. Everyone is clear about this? So now again, what do we have to check? Only step number one. There is only one step. In that step, what are we going to decide? Resident or non-resident? No further step, obviously. One more time, we will have to go and check the control and management. Because one more time, we cannot check physical presence. In HUF step number 2, when we did that, it was illogical. I hope you remember. Correct, hai na? The only thing that we will check is control management. What do you mean by control and management? Place of decision making. Where are the big or major decisions of this organization taken? Whether firm, AOP, any one of them. And following are the possibilities. Come on. Wholly in India. Give me the situation as well as the answer. Fantastic. Second possibility. Wholly outside India. Non-resident. Third possibility. And when we say partly in India, so obviously the other part will be one decision also taken in India, it is going to be considered as resident. So it will be non-resident only and only if All the decisions are taken outside India. Is that clear? And after this, there is no further division. Believe me, I could have actually merged HUF also here and done all of them together, and then come to step number 2 and say this step number 2 is only for HUF, not for the others. Because step number 1 is same for all of them. One decision also in India, then it will be declared as resident. Same as HUF. Just that HUF has one extra step. What is that extra step? ROR, NOR, which exists only under individual and HUF. Is that clear? So individual ka rules were completely different. So we had to do it separately. HUF ka rule was only separate to the extent that it has ordinary, not ordinary. Still we did it separately. But in these 4, there is no difference at all. Everything is same. And therefore we are doing them together. Is that clear? And last SSE. Here also there is slight difference. So individual slight difference, done separately. Slightly major difference, but done separately. HUF and company slight difference, so done separately. And the remaining 4, which have no difference between them, we did them together. We are not rushing your portion at all. We will never do that. ये clear है? You want syllabus फटाफट sir finish so that we can do self study? No. You tell me sir within this month finish, so I will finish. By the way, when I say within this month, just to let you know, okay, my lecture in this week is till Saturday, and next week for you people also, please be careful. Next week, Monday to Saturday, there will be no lecture. Directly after this Saturday, lecture will be on 30th of my lecture. The offline students will have other teachers. Don't celebrate the Merry Christmas only to online students. So 30th ko we will resume. After Saturday 21st, we resume on 30th of December. Okay. After that, we will not have any break till your syllabus completion. No break thereafter. ये clear है? हाँ, तो we are never in a rush. We are going to be doing peacefully. And if you tell me, sir, complete within this month, I can complete your syllabus within this month also. करना है? नहीं, you are not in a rush, no? Very good, excellent. Last assessee, company. In company also, the division is only resident and non-resident. There is no further classification, which we by now have understood that further classification into ordinary, not ordinary is only for individual and HUF. For other assessees, there is no such further classification. Ye clear hai, everyone? Now, for company, the rule is not directly control and management. For company, you will have to go and check whether the company is Indian company or foreign company. While most rules in income tax law are based on domestic, non-domestic, but this rule is based on Indian and foreign. Indian company means a company which is, so if you are registered under Indian Companies Act, that is 1956 or 2013, then you will be declared as Indian company. And if you are registered under Companies Act of any other country, so you will be declared as a. If your company is an Indian company, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Devyo, Sajjano, Mitro, always resident, irrespective of anything, irrespective of where the chairman stays, irrespective of decision making, irrespective of place of office, irrespective of place of business, Indian company, Reliance Industries Limited, Tata Consultancy Services, Infosys Limited, or my companies. I am the owner of Adani Enterprises Limited, Adani Ports Limited, Adani SEZ Limited, Adani Green, Adani Transmission, Adani Total Gas, Adani Wilmar. I am the owner of the entire Adani Group. हाँ तो owner only, no? Shareholder only becomes owner. Now some people ask, sir, how many shares? See, when I tell that number, you will laugh. But point is simple. Supposingly I have one share also. How dare you laugh at that? How many do you have? Then why laugh? The value of that one share is more than your annual income, because your annual income is 0. Student like you. One share of Adani Enterprises I purchased at 3,051 rupees. That's more than your annual income. Anybody here who is participating in talent shows like dancing, singing, acting, and getting paid for those talent shows or any sports competition or anything like that, you are getting paid for it, you are having income, excellent. Then your income is more than that one share ka value. So don't celebrate. And if you're not participating, it is your student life, and we all go through this life. So your annual income is zero. So don't laugh at my one share. Please. Never laugh at anybody else for any reason. Friends के group में you make fun of each other, that's a different thing. When both of you do equally with each other, that is acceptable. But the moment you know that someone is getting offended with your behavior, so somewhere if you are being hurtful to someone, then you should be avoiding it. Friends ko you can say anything. So basically, don't laugh at my bank balance. Rather, if I show you if I show you the payment that I get for taking your batch, you'll not laugh, you'll cry for me. When do we have to conduct our protest or decide a date? We have to go to the office, shout slogans. Kabhi? Today? Last lecture. Whose last lecture? My last lecture or your last lecture? Because my syllabus will get over, still your other subject will be on. Result के बाद. Bro, I'll tell you one thing. Once the batch is over now, I go to my house, you go to your house, you will not even remember that there was someone. That's a normal general tendency of 21st century Gen Z students, where finish the syllabus, you go to your house, I go to my house. You who you, question mark. I always thought that only CA final students are like that, but last 1 year has made me understand that inter students are not much different. Like when the batch is going on, sir, we are with you for life, sir. Whatever we will do without your permission, without asking you, we will. I don't even know where they are. Like literally, hi, hello is also out of question. So I don't have too many expectations also, and simple. My job is to come and teach, finish your syllabus. You are happy, I am happy. So result के बाद वाला problem means it is never going to happen by then. Any other better day you have? Sure, one day I will only decide. I'll do one thing. I will go and remove the plug of the main switch of the classroom here, and then I will say there is electricity issue. So all the lectures cannot be conducted without electricity, and we will go and protest. And until and unless the management agrees to increase my pay at least to double, I will not give only the plug back. I will not even tell them that I have done this. And I know you are very happy, sir. Keep it with you, even if it becomes double. You just keep it for some more days at least. We will go for a mini vacation and come. All these companies, I have a equity market ka portfolio, and one of the regrets of my life is that I started investing very late as after COVID. Despite being a chartered accountant, I never took the risk of making investment in equity markets. Equity markets in Indian, and be born and brought up in middle class culture of India, equity markets are considered as gambling. People are not comfortable with those markets. The moment Indian relatives, supposingly I am checking my app, off late everything is available in the app only, you can find out that what is the ongoing price of which share. The shares that I have invested today are up or down, markets are up or down. Supposingly you check in front of your middle class relative, your Indian conservative, we typically Marwadi families, if we check their reaction to share market, share market. I am not committing any crime, bro, and it is just in case it is not clear, it is my money that I am using. I regret, because if I had done this early, investment, so by now I would have had an excellent portfolio, and my passive income would have taken care. I have a lot of passive income that I am making money even when I am sleeping, because my video lectures are being purchased, the books are being purchased. I have lots and lots of passive income, but investment based income I did very, very late in life. In fact, insurance policy, there is a concept called term insurance. That also I took very late in life. And the later you take in your life, the more expensive these term insurance policies are. The insurance companies basically check the age of the customer, and higher your age means earlier will be their probability of paying your claim, and therefore insurance companies increase the premium. They increase the premium. So when I come to one of the sections where I will explain insurance policies ka tax treatment to you, at that time I am going to take up how to make investments, what are these term insurance policies, etc. Just one second. Sorry. So basically, once your company is registered in India, it is going to be considered as resident. It is always going to be considered as resident. Whether Reliance, Adani, Tata, Birla, any Indian company. So Reliance Industries Limited. Supposingly Mukesh Bhai has got life threat, death threat. I don't know whether you are aware. Some time back, there were people who placed a car filled with explosives outside his house, and he like literally had fear of his life. So supposingly he migrates to any foreign country, say UK, London, he migrates with his family, and he is taking 100% decisions of Reliance Industries Limited from London. All decisions taken in London, not a single decision taken in India, and therefore Reliance Industries Limited will become still. Why? Because once the company is registered in India, to hell with your place of decision making. Once a company is registered in India, it is going to be considered as resident. Resident. ये clear है everyone? And what about foreign company? Foreign company is registered outside India. So normally you would assume that all the decisions are being taken outside India. But for foreign companies, they say if your poem, अरे कविता नहीं, place of effective management. If your place of effective management, if your place of effective management is in India, so you will be considered as resident. If your place of effective management is in India, you are going to be considered as resident. Poem has to be in India. That means if your poem is outside India, I am going to throw this. If the poem is outside India, it will be considered as non-resident. If your poem is in India, it is going to be considered as resident. If the poem is outside India, it will be considered as non-resident. That means Indian company always resident, but foreign company you will go and check the place of effective management. Poem is in India, to poem outside India, to are you clear about this? So shall we say that company ka residential status is over? हाँ, नाम क्या बताया था? तेज. The speed with which you said yes, it was very, very tej. I am very good at doing things impromptu. I am I am desperately thinking, so I should take part in that show, India's Got Latent, and I am very good when it comes to roasting someone instantly. You should have asked one question before being so tej. Come on, ask. You don't have any question, then this is over. If you don't have any question, then this is over. Indian company is always resident. Foreign company will be resident only if poem is in India. And then I am asking you to ask me a question. How, that question automatically, this answer will automatically answer that question, sir. What do you mean by place of effective management? Because for the other assessees, we were not checking effective management. We were checking one decision also. In Indian company, we are not checking decision making at all. 100% decision taken outside India, still we will declare you. Indian company, all decisions outside India, still we will declare you as resident. But foreign company ke liye, we are not checking control and management. That is different. That is decision making, can be small decision, big decision. But this is not control and management. This is place of effective management. Poem means your major, main, big managerial decisions. So poem means we will not check the day-to-day routine decisions. Major decisions, if taken in India, so you will be declared as resident. In the other assesses, what is the rule? Major or minor, even one decision taken in India, so you will be resident. But here we can't do that, because don't forget, you are foreign companies. Indian companies, we are not interested in decision making. Indian company, always resident, will pay tax on world income. But foreign company, we can't make you resident just because of one decision. We will make you resident if you are taking your big decisions in India. So if your big decisions, major decisions are taken in India, then you will be resident. If only the routine day-to-day decisions are taken in India, it won't be considered as poem. In fact, we are not going to consider only the routine day-to-day decisions. We will only check your major decisions. Major decisions in India, to resident. Major decisions outside India, that means poem outside India, to non-resident. Is that clear? Still, you should ask some question.
Sir, वो आप बोल रहे थे ना डिविडेंड अगर डिविडेंड यहाँ पे वो डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रहे हैं तो भी रेसिडेंट
कैसे? Explain the reason.
सर आपने एक एग्जांपल
हाँ, that was explanation of domestic company. My question is, how does that make you resident? You mean to say distribution of dividend is a major decision. See, rule क्या है? What is the rule? If your big decisions are taken in India, so you will become resident. If only routine day-to-day decisions are taken in India, so you will become non-resident. ये rule है. This is the rule. But the counter question to this should be, come on.
who decides the
What do you mean by big decision and small decision? What do you think is a big decision? What do you mean by day-to-day routine decision? How to classify whether a decision is big or small? For example, dividend distribution. Is it a big decision or small decision? Some companies do it on a day-to-day basis. Regularly distribute dividend. How to decide? Do you understand the controversy that it will bring with it? You will always say, sir, this is a small decision that I have taken in India. Because you want to be a non-resident. But the officer, AO, assessing officer, will always say, no, this is a big decision that you have taken in India. How to decide what decision is big or small? For example, I am a married man, married for last 10 years. And in my house, all the big decisions I take, I don't let anybody interfere. Everyone is scared of me. I only say it publicly to sound funny that I am scared, I am not scared. All big decisions I will take. All day-to-day routine decisions, I don't interfere. That man takes. Day-to-day routine decisions like which school to send our son. Day-to-day routine decision. Where to invest our surplus funds. Whether to invest in equity or no. How much to buy when it comes to gold. Which house to buy, which house not to buy. Stay in a purchased house or a rented house. These day-to-day routine decisions, I don't interfere. In normal decisions, day-to-day, I don't interfere. Big decisions I take. Who should be the Prime Minister of India? Who should be the coach of Indian cricket team? Whether Rohit should leave Test captaincy and focus only on One Day International now that he has left T20 also. Or he should leave One Days and focus only on Test matches. These big decisions only I take. I don't let anybody interfere. Routine decisions, I don't interfere. Well, how do you classify what decision is big or small? You understand? Every time there is a foreign company having operations in our country, there will be fight between that company and the income tax department. Company will say this decision was a small decision, routine decision. Company can't say major, huh? Because if it is major, then poem is in India. Company will say it's a routine decision. An officer will say it's a major decision. If company says routine decision, that means poem is not in India. So non-resident, only Indian. An officer says no, it's a major decision. So poem is in India. Then resident to world income. How to address this issue? Because we cannot, there is no benchmark which can be kept to decide whether a decision is major or minor. Because there were controversies. An organization stepped into this controversy. The name of that organization is CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes. At CA Final, you are taught about CBDT in too much of detail, almost one entire chapter dedicated to CBDT. But at Inter, I can roughly tell you this much, that CBDT is the father, daddy, papa, achan, abba, abbu, pops, dad of the income tax department. I missed any language? Baba, appa of the income tax department. If you are ever asked, who is the father of income tax department? CBDT. Sir, why do you say so? Everything CBDT decides, officers have to follow. From the senior most officer to the junior most officer, all officers have to abide by the rules, regulations laid down by CBDT. CBDT is the controlling body of the income tax department. Income tax department of India comes under direct control of this board called CBDT. Every decision has to be followed. And you know, in our day-to-day life also, if father says something, children have to follow. Now you don't say, no, sir, in our house it is the other way around. No, you are Gen Z, no? So for you, it may be the other way around. In my age, I belong to the generation born in the late 80s, childhood in the 90s. We call ourselves the 90s kids, born in the late 80s, therefore. I never looked into my father's eyes while talking to him. Every time I spoke to him like this. I am the class topper. I am the class topper. With a very, very soft voice. I could never talk loudly also in front of him. But I used to still be present if he is around. His relation with his father, my grandfather. If my grandfather is in one room, my father will not go in that room. He will come out, then he will go in. He avoided being present in the same room with my grandfather. Because that 60s wala generation. Income tax law enacted in 1961 still believes that if father says something, then children will listen. They are not going to argue or debate. These days, you know, kids don't do it unless you are Jethalal. You don't know Jethalal. Google this. Because if you don't know this, then you are missing something. Really, you have a troubled childhood. You need rehabilitation. You need counseling. If you don't know this, I believe that South Indian students will of course not know this, because it's a very popular Hindi TV show, daily show, comedy show. South Indian students, but they don't watch. But South Indian students online, Mumbai ka students, or in fact anywhere other than the 4 states of South India, if you don't know him, then you need counseling. You have a troubled childhood. You have family issues. I need to take you to a psychiatrist if you don't know. He is the one who made our childhood excellent. Matlab, this show, believe me, has affected generations. I used to sit and watch this with my father. I have watched it with my son also. 3 generations. And even today, when we are having our food, at the time of food, we always watch the old episodes, because the old episodes were much better. 16 years the show has been running. non-stop, and even today successful. Of late, people criticize the show a lot, stating that, sir, it has been too long now, it is so boring. See, the point is that the show is working on the same lines that it used to work 16 years ago. You have grown up, so you now find it boring. You have matured, so now you find those jokes silly jokes, the same which you used to enjoy maybe 6, 7 years ago, 10 years ago. Because the life of the show has become too long, generations have been affected. The same jokes now your kids, our kids are going to like because they relate to it. Show has not changed, audience has matured. The target audience which used to watch once upon a time, with 2008 mein I was a college going student, so for me it was funny. The jokes on neighbor's wife, all withdrawn from there. It was very funny, relatable. But as we mature, things change. So you Google this if you don't know. The big question arises, what do you mean by major decisions? CBDT, the father of income tax department. And once the father says something, all children have to listen. At least in the 1961 generation. CBDT released a circular with some conditions, that if the following conditions are fulfilled, then it will be considered as poem. To give you a little idea about what these conditions are, we will see your turnover across the globe. Are you a foreign company? So you must be having operations across the globe. Out of total turnover across the globe, this much percentage of your turnover was in India. Out of total number of employees across the globe, these many employees you have in India. Out of total profits across the globe, this much profit you have in India. On the basis of those conditions, any organization which is fulfilling all those conditions will be considered to have poem in India. They have given a circular. And all these circulars, etc., are a part of CA final syllabus. Just that I don't want you to be blank. So I discussed with you that on the basis of turnover, number of employees, profits, your tangible assets. What are your tangible assets across the globe? And out of that, how much do you have in India? On the basis of this, they have decided poem. Because otherwise, classifying a decision into major or minor is always going to result into controversy. So any company satisfying these conditions will be considered to have poem in India. Those circulars are a part of CA final syllabus. In fact, this poem circular, even final students, I tell them that if you want, you read. Otherwise, if you don't read, it is okay. At least in exam, it is not relevant. By chance, you are working for some foreign company. Now, in your articleship, you may probably have foreign companies as clients. And after qualification, so they will be your target also, because they will pay you more than the local companies. So then you will have to go and read the poem circular for practical work purposes. Exam point of view, the circular is absolutely not required, absolutely irrelevant. Is that clear? In your exam, as far as CA Inter is concerned, they will clearly say like this: all the major decisions were taken in India. So what's your answer? Resident. ABC Limited is an Indian company. All the decisions were taken place outside India. Indian company, always resident. XYZ Incorporation, foreign company. Routine decisions in India, major decisions outside India. And what if it is the reverse? Routine decisions outside India, major decisions in India. You understood? They will give you a question like this, which you will be able to answer. And that circular comes in CA final. That also exam they don't ask. Just that it is there in final. Everyone is clear on this? Ladies and gentlemen, that was your residential status of companies. And ladies and gentlemen, that was residential status part 1 of the chapter. So did I tell you that individual will consume the entire time, but the remaining together will not take that much time? And they have not taken. You understand? We started the others today. And we have just started the lecture. The lecture has just started. How much time do you think has happened since the lecture started? You did not have to look at the watch and answer. Without looking. जो भी हुआ वो. See, when it will be 4 o'clock, I will leave. Before that, you have to tolerate me whether you like me or you don't. Keep giving expressions. Dirty wala expressions. It does not affect. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, are you done with part 1 of the chapter? That is residential status. Now we go to the second part of the chapter, that is scope of total income. Income is going to be divided into two types: Indian income and foreign income. Correct hai? By the way, we have already studied, and this is going to work as a recap for you. Indian income is going to be taxable for all assessees. Whether you are ROR, RNOR or NR, non-resident also has to pay tax. Foreign income will be divided into two categories. Sir, what two categories? Foreign income, which is being controlled from India, and foreign domestic income, local income, no control from India. The one which is controlled from India will be taxable for ROR and R, but one which is locally earned will be taxable only for, which effectively means that ROR will be paying tax on everything. NR will be paying tax only on Indian income. RNOR is that confusing area. Indian income will be taxable because that is taxable for non-resident also. But foreign income mein everything will not be taxable. Foreign income will be taxable only to the extent it is being controlled from India. Only to the extent it is being controlled from India. Is that understood? Everyone? But then do we know that this division of ROR, RNOR exists only in individual and HUF? Just understand, if it is other than individual HUF, so I just have to write resident here and non-resident. Sorry, my bad. All assessees here and resident here. Indian income, all assessees, resident and non-resident, and foreign income only resident. Other assessees ka part is very, very easy. Or let me do one thing. Let me divide this chart for you assessee wise. Assessee can be individual HUF or the others. Others will cover your AOP, BOI, company, firm, local authority, HAP. In individual HUF, we have the division of ROR, RNOR and NR. But in other assessees, we only have the division called resident and. So this is very easy. Resident will pay tax on global income and non-resident will pay tax on Indian income. Very easy. Very easy. But this side, ROR, global income. Matlab Indian income or foreign income? Both. Sir, foreign income two types, domestic and control from India. Which of them? All of them. Any income, ROR will always pay tax. Any income is always going to be taxable for ROR. For ROR, every income is always going to be taxable. Non-resident is also very easy. Non-resident will pay tax only and only on Indian income. Non-resident will pay tax only on Indian income. ये correct है? R and R. Let me see if you are able to answer. First income which is guaranteed definitely taxable without thinking too much. Indian income will be taxable for sure. But sir, somewhere we were taught that non-resident has to pay tax on foreign income also. So foreign income also. But sir, which foreign income? Any foreign income that is being controlled from India. We call it business controlled or profession set up that we have written before. So we have to keep the handwritten book as short as possible. Textbook mein everything is written, but handwritten book has to be kept short so that you can quickly revise. For business we use the word control from India, but for profession we will use the word profession set up in India. Ye clear hai everyone? Fantastic. Now this means that if your income is Indian income, then tax has to be taken from resident as well as non-resident, ROR, RNOR, everyone. And foreign income we will target only residents or RNOR sometimes. So it is very important for us to now know, because we already know who is resident, non-resident or ROR, RNOR. It is important for us to now know, sir, what is Indian income? Because foreign income is simple. Anything that is not Indian income will be considered as foreign income. Indian income is going to be taxable for everyone. Do you agree with this? When we say taxable for everyone, you must also note that our target is RNOR and NR. Because supposingly you are ROR, then to hell with whether income is Indian or foreign. This part you have to save in your brain, otherwise it will become complicated. See, that way it is very easy. Very easy. But you have to be clear in your mind that when I am teaching you the definition of Indian income, I am teaching you only for non-residents. RNOR also take it, because RNOR to sometimes foreign income is also taxable. My target in teaching you the meaning of Indian income is non-resident, and you have to give me the reason also why non-resident is my target. Why a resident is not my target. In the explanation of Indian income, why is a resident not my target? Because resident has to pay tax even if the income is not Indian income, even if the income is global income, foreign income. Resident has to pay tax on everything. So supposingly my income does not classify as Indian income, still he has to pay tax. So I am classifying any income as Indian income only to target non-residents. Do you agree and understand what is Indian income? In order to understand Indian income, you have to first understand the income earning process. The income earning process is basically two activities. First, you have to work, and second, you have to get paid. Simple hai? You work towards an activity and then you get paid for the activity after completing the batch. Not understood? Many a times last lecture of any batch, students are like literally celebrating that, sir, aaj check milega. Arey bro, don't ask how much, because you will have like true high level of sympathy for me. Okay? So suno. Other way around is also possible. If you can insist that no, I will take my payment first, then only I will work. I take advance. But point is that there are two activities. You have to work and then get paid. I have to teach and then I will get payment for teaching. Now, if I complete both activities, that means I have completed my income earning process. I want more income, do more work and get more payment. Simple. Following are the possibilities. Supposingly I have done my work in India. I am taking your batch in India and I get paid for this batch here itself, in India itself. Stupid question to even ask. Is this Indian income?
Yes.
So will I pay tax?
Yes.
Acha, I am a resident, by the way. Now that you know residential status depends on number of days. Okay. You think I've ever gone abroad? Look at the poverty in my eyes. I have, but not for more than 182 days in a year. I can't be abroad for 6 months in a year. Students will forget me. Out of sight is out of memory. वेरी पॉपुलर हिंदी प्रोवर्ब, जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. You cannot be out of sight, otherwise you will be out of memory. And then people will like, ah, there used to be a direct tax faculty once upon a time. Bro, मैं जिंदा हूँ. Once तो a student commented on YouTube, sir, you were one of the best faculties, miss you, sir. अबे, then I commented, bro, I am alive. So what he meant was that, sir, what I meant was that in my entire study ka syllabus, you were one of the best faculties, and miss you because now my syllabus is over and I am busy in my professional life. Sir, वो point. मैं बोला, bro, specify. Because you will comment, social media ka era hai, students will not realize, automatically they will start spreading that something happened, and they will, so some people will start RIP also. First available opportunity, we want to type RIP. These days we don't type that also, we send that emoji. We don't even send the message, we only react. Reacted to your message. Folded hand wala emoji. By the way, I'll tell you one scam. That emoji is not folded hand, that's hi-fi. That's hi-fi. Most people don't know. And all family WhatsApp groups use it as greeting. But that's actually a hi-fi. It's a classic case of if you know, you know. You didn't know this, no? I am a resident. See, even if this income was foreign income, no, I had to pay tax. Supposingly, we invite some foreign faculty, some non-resident who has come only, for 20-30 days. Non-resident. Of course, taxation, law, audit cannot be taught by foreign faculties because they are local laws. But a subject like costing or financial management, these concepts are global. A concept like capital budgeting or cost of capital or capital structure, ratio analysis, leverages. Your syllabus is over, no? That is why you made me wait for more and more time. Ke sir, ruko sir, FM is not over, FM. Acha sir, we did not make you wait. Bro, but I waited. I was supposed to start 1 week prior. But you made me wait. So your costing FM syllabus, I believe, both are over. हाँ, तो फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट में these topics और कॉस्टिंग का स्टैंडर्ड कॉस्टिंग, मार्जिनल कॉस्टिंग, बजटरी कंट्रोल, कॉस्ट शीट, these are global concepts. Across the world, same financial management is being taught. So we can invite foreign faculties. Foreign faculties coming to India and teaching you in India and then getting paid in India. Bro, for that non-resident also, it will be Indian income. See, please understand, I am not the target of this concept. Because I have to pay tax even if it is not Indian income, I am a resident. You have to all throughout be clear in your mind that this concept is being taught to you to target non-residents who are otherwise not paying tax in our country, but we will take tax from them if they have earned Indian income. When both activities are done in India, obviously it is Indian income. When both activities are done outside India, means work also outside, payment also outside, obviously it is going to be foreign income. Both activities in India, Indian income. Both activities outside India, foreign income. ये correct है everyone? But what if? And this also requires no explanation. I hope you understand. Okay. Supposingly Indian cricket team, where are they working right now? Australia, and assume that over there only they are getting their check. The payment also there. Foreign income, but they still have to pay tax because they are resident. Resident is not the target. Target is supposingly later during the year, any other country ka cricket team comes and plays in India. So they are playing in India. Bro, they played and they went away. Or they played and they got paid also here. That means, can I say both activities, work done and money received, is in India? So they will have to pay tax even if they are non-residents. Target only is non-resident. But what if they play their match here, then they leave? Because nobody gets immediate payment. they get their payment outside India. Is it possible? Supposingly, I complete your batch and go for a foreign holiday. While in the foreign, during the foreign holiday, I request ke batch is over, give my payment. So over there in some bank account or some cash payment is given to me through some contact over there. But the work was done in India. Money is received outside India. Or what else is possible? Work done outside India and payment received. Indian cricket team only. Right now they are working in Australia. They finish their matches. They come back and for the entire tournament, we make their payment in India. Is that possible? So whether these two incomes will be Indian income. Now please understand what is the impact. If the income is Indian income, then it will be taxable for everyone. But if the income is foreign income, then it will be taxable only for resident. So we have to decide whether this income is Indian income or foreign income. You want to try? Try Indian income. Why?
Foreign work done in India means they have used the resources of India. So that will be an Indian.
Okay. And second one?
For payment done in India means not much idea about that. First was it tax.
Any other answer? You understand the question, no? I am asking you to guess whether these two situations ka answer will be Indian income or foreign income. First two situations are very easy. You know, similar to what we started the chapter with. Resident Indian income obviously taxable, non-resident foreign income obviously not taxable. We had two in between questions, resident foreign income, non-resident Indian income. Now we know those answers also. Now we have a similar situation to define Indian income. Both activities in India, Indian income. Both activities outside India, foreign income. Work done in India, money received outside India, or work done outside India, money received in India. What about these two cases?
In second case, if the payment is made in India, so there is a chance that the company is Indian company.
Not necessarily. I'll tell you the reason. Foreign company can also be making the payment in India. In fact, any organization can be making a payment in India. Supposingly, I will give you a simple example. Okay. A lot of my students, do you know that there is a ICAI ka office in UAE, Dubai? I have huge number of students attending lectures from Dubai, especially in CA final, because till inter they study in India, especially Kerala ka Malayali students, no, till inter they are in India. Then for articleship opportunities, they go to UAE because somewhere they are sure that permanent settlement they will be doing in UAE only. So a lot of my students, some students from Gujarat, as early as 2013 ka CF, May 2013 CA final, one student had cleared. I used to take online live lecture through satellite technology, matlab, like a recorded, I told you, recorded lectures I only started. So he was a student from Jamnagar. He studied from my lectures. Then he settled in Dubai. He also joined the management committee of Dubai branch of ICAI. And one day I got a call from plus 971. He said, then I did not receive, obviously, because you are taught that do not receive numbers. But he messaged, sir, I am Nikunj from Dubai. I was your student. I knew him because before he left for Dubai, he came to Mumbai and he met me and he said, okay, sir, now I am sorted in life. This subject I was not able to clear since a couple of attempts. Then somebody recommended your name. I wanted to meet you once before I go there. So I remembered him. Then he messaged. Then I said, Dubai say you can do only WhatsApp calling. Usme bhi some servers of Dubai have blocked WhatsApp. You have to be very smart in using also. So they cannot use WhatsApp there. But our phone ka installed WhatsApp or WhatsApp business we are able to use over there. So he is using some technology with which he is able to use WhatsApp. Otherwise, in all phones, WhatsApp does not work over there. He said, okay, sir, we want to conduct direct tax lectures in the branch here. I said, good number of students. Those days used to come physically in my classroom. Then after online live ka so much culture took place, every batch I have students from Dubai. In fact, timing I'll tell you that my lecture starts at 7 o'clock, no CA final. Their timing is 4:30 a.m. But there are students who are up and ready at that time also for attending their lectures. 4:30 to 7:30 as per their timing, 7 to 10 as per Indian time. And 7:30 they get ready and go for work. मतलब दुबई में working hours are very very heavy, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. you have to work. That also Monday to Saturday. So they get done with their lectures before their office hours. He invited me for those lectures. Then I said, I laid down a few conditions. I said, see, it's okay if you don't pay me for these lectures. Wait, let me complete. You will have to book business class tickets for 2 people. Those days we were 2. Now if he invites, so he has to give 3, of course. Tabhi we were only 2, no? This is 6 years ago. More than 6 years ago. So business class tickets for 2 people. Obviously, you will have to give me stay of a hotel of my choice. During the lecture days, the full day I will be busy with lectures only. After lecture days, the return ticket you book after 4 days, 5 days. I will stay back. Because you book after 4 days or 5 days does not make any difference. And that extra period of my stay, I am not asking for money. But if you want to sponsor that, you can. Matlab, I will not say no to you. Don't pay me for lectures. I will have one more stamp on me. I already have the stamp of first person to take online live, first person to do recorded lectures, first person to do lectures in 2 languages. I will also have the stamp of first Indian CA professor taking foreign lecture physically. Digitally, so I have taken first and till date also highest number of students from other countries. अभी Kuwait से there are a few students who purchased video lectures for CA final, and our dilemma problem was when you enroll for my CA final batch. So I will deliver the books. It's a part of the class enrollment. But then I made it clear that delivery is in India because the total cost of delivery to Kuwait is more than the cost of the full course that you have purchased. How will I deliver these books? You want e-books? That I can give you on my app. But they will be encrypted, of course. You can't be taking printout or screenshot. And you want physical delivery? I will give you the lectures. Lectures so digitally they are given. Physical delivery of books I will give you, but that courier ka extra charges. We don't take courier charges from students. We bear the courier charges. Many a times in book orders we suffer losses because our prices on website are fixed. Suddenly courier ka rates have increased. They keep on fluctuating like stock market. So yesterday that courier guy took 80 rupees from me. Today is asking 150. I cannot change the selling price of the book. So many times I have committed to I deliver the book by bearing the courier charges. But here I was clearly aware that the charges are going to be very heavy. I said, if you want refund, I will give you. Don't take my lectures. But if you want the books and my lectures, so whatever courier charges actual, I will give you the receipt, you pay for it. He agreed. And the amount of courier charges was almost equal to the lectures that he purchased. But he is watching all the lectures because my app gives me all data of which student has watched how many hours, how many days are remaining. There is a validity period of lectures. How many views are remaining? You have purchased 1 view, 1.5 view or 2 views. How many views are remaining? All the data. He's watching every day. He's sending me doubts. So many students outside India, it was a very good opportunity to take lectures in Dubai. Unfortunately, what happened? We realized the mode of operation of Dubai corporates where these students are working. 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday to Saturday. So how will I take the lectures? What do you expect? A Saturday evening ka flight I'll take from Mumbai to Dubai. Sunday full day I will take lectures. Sunday night I will come back. Because Monday again they have office. Next Saturday I will again come. Weekly up down I will do. To Dubai. Arey bro, it is Dubai, not Dongri. Dongri is an area in Mumbai. I can't be doing weekly up down, no. Hello. So we decided to convert it into an online thing or recorded thing. But supposingly I had taken the lectures over there. Please understand. I'll finish the batch and come back. Now I had said don't pay my fees. As long as you are bearing the cost of the trip. All the cost as per my choice. Preferably one night in Atlantis. Also, if you don't mind, then give it. When I come back here, suddenly someone comes to my door with a check. Says, sir, you have taken lectures. So we will have to pay you. They have sent the check through courier. So I am getting my payment here. It need not necessarily be Indian company. It can be any organization which is making my payment in India. So case 1 was work I have finished and payment I got outside. Case 2 was work I have finished outside and after coming here, payment I get in India. What will be the answer of these two in between intermediary situations? Come on. What do you think? And I can tell you one thing. Answer is same. Yes. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Our government is going to tax you at the earliest available opportunity, and therefore both these situations will be considered as, just like we considered your income taxable at the earliest available opportunity, resident or Indian income. Correct or no? So resident foreign income or non-resident Indian income, we want to levy tax on you at the slightest possible opportunity. This is the only possibility where we cannot touch you. In this also, we will touch residents. Correct or no? But when any of the activities has taken place in India, that means we have the clear freedom to touch everyone, resident as well as non-resident. That means the final conclusion is that out of the income earning process, which contains two activities, what are the two activities? Work done or payment received. Work or payment, work or payment. Out of the income earning process of work or payment, any one activity is also done in India, then the income will be classified as Indian income. And once the income is classified as Indian income, it will be taxable for everyone. See, that is the last part that I said no is the most important part that you have to take. This was very easy. The moment I say slightest available opportunity, they will make it Indian income. Sir, making it Indian income is one thing. What will happen because of that is a bigger and a more important thing that you have to take home from. What will happen because of that? They will have to pay tax. They who? Target is non-resident. See, please understand. If I don't teach any of this classification, resident still has to pay tax. So target is who? Non-resident. The moment an income is declared as Indian income, everyone has to pay tax, including non-residents. Everyone has to pay tax. Understood? Fantastic. That means what is our conclusion? Indian income will take place if work done in India or, because any one of them, payment received in India. Work done in India or payment received in India. Bro, what? Work done in India or payment received in India. This will be taxable for everyone. And target, again, I would like to remind you, RNOR is a small target. Main target is non-resident. When any activity from the income earning process is done in India, income earning process contains two activities. What are the two activities? Work done, money received. Work done, money received. Any one of the two activities done in India, then your income will be declared as, and it is going to be taxable for everyone. Is that clear? Everyone clear? Fantastic. Sir, there is a third possibility here. In this third possibility, you have done the work outside India and your payment was also made outside India. Work done outside India. Payment, both activities, both activities. Still there are certain incomes that will be deemed to be, and what is the most appropriate word which is replaceable here, or which you can put, these incomes will be considered, you treat them as Indian income. Sir, there is no Indian connection. Work was done outside India. Money was paid, matlab payment was for the income earning person, money was received where? Outside India. Work done, money received. Still we will consider the income to be slightly surprising. Sir, when everything is outside India, how can you make it? Well, what we can do is go and have a look at the list of incomes which are deemed to be Indian. If an income is deemed to be Indian income, why it is being deemed? Oh, so once I tell you, there are about 8-9 incomes given here. Once I tell you about those incomes, you'll understand the logic. But once it is deemed to be Indian income, whatever be the logic, right now you are finding it illogical. As we do the incomes, you'll find logic in all of them. My question to you is, once it is Indian income, what is going to be the impact of it? Once an income is Indian income, it is going to be taxable for all assessees, but our target is, so one more time I would like to make you understand that if I am now doing with you a list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 incomes, if I am doing with you a list of these 9 incomes, so ladies and gentlemen, my target, our target is non-resident. Main target is non-resident. Of course, we are also going to target RNOR, but main target is non-resident. And one more thing about these 8-9 incomes I want to tell you now in advance, that in all these 8-9 cases, the payment has taken place. See, supposingly in any activity, the money is received in India. In any activity, the money is received in India, then you don't have to deem that income to be Indian income. It is Indian income. See, when do you deem? When everything is done outside, still you consider Indian. So we use the word deem. If payment is in India, then you don't need this point. It is already Indian income. So whatever I teach you in this list here, one thing is clear. In any of these transactions, if the payment was done, in any of these transactions, if the payment was done in India, then we don't need the deeming concept, because it is not deemed to be Indian income. It is Indian. When do we need deeming? If everything is happening outside India, then we need to deem it for some reason. Reason we will understand. But if the existing activity only has taken place in India, then we don't need the third point. So our third point will also be based on a background that the payment was outside India. I hope you are clear. I repeat the line that if the payment is in India, we don't have to be deeming the income as Indian income. It is already Indian income. Are we clear about this? So what are the incomes? Where work done outside India, money received, still we will consider them as, and levy tax on non-residents. Sir, non-resident. Sir, why? Because resident, we don't need category of income. Even if we don't put the income in this list, he still has to pay tax, because resident has to pay tax on global income. So the list is relevant only for these two. Our target here is these two things that we have written in bracket. If you keep them at the side of your brain, no, then only you will understand the list. Are we clear? Chalo. So one by one, and of course, as we do the incomes, you will automatically get the logic of. There is a big question, sir. When everything is happening outside, how can you consider it as Indian income? And the logic is hidden in the points. You will get the answer. Don't worry about that. One by one, what are the situations? First, profit on sale of an asset which is located in India. By the way, today you all are newcomers in taxation. This is only my 4th lecture. So I am calling it profit on sale of asset. Hello. Later, you will one day become experts to call this capital gains. Capital gain is profit on sale of asset. So yes, later when you become experts on this issue, you will understand this. But as of now, profit on sale of an asset which is located in India is going to be considered as deemed to be Indian income. Sir, why? What is the logic? Understand with the help of an example. Okay. Supposingly, Google Incorporation. Google Incorporation owns a property in India, in a city called Bengaluru. I purposely take example of Bengaluru because that is the IT hub. Of course, provided you reach your office without getting stuck in traffic, and provided you know how to talk in Kannada. Bro, in Mumbai, political parties will hit you if you don't know Marathi. In Bangalore, auto rickshaw drivers will hit you if you don't know Kannada. You don't know this? Believe me, it is true. So, they have a property in Bangalore. Or is that same Bangalore which never wins IPL? Same. RCB. RCB. RCB fan. नहीं. Sir, I am, but I am ashamed to admit it. नहीं. One more time I say this. You are not a Virat Kohli fan. You are RCB fan. If you are RCB fan because of Virat Kohli, then you are not considered RCB fan. You are Virat Kohli fan. Virat Kohli is separate legal entity. Without Kohli, are you RCB fan? Bro, who on earth? And if you still are, then you deserve the award for best loyalty on the planet. Nobody can be better than you. Okay. We say men never move on. Men don't move on. Even after 40 years, 50 years, 70 years, we still remember her. Bro, the real people who don't move on are RCB fans. They will be loyal for life to that same city, Bengaluru. Their owner took away 9,000 crores from SBI, poor people ka money. That is only karma, no bro. On the other hand, highest number of IPL trophies. Mumbai jointly. Our owner has done so much charity, bro. His elephant eats 1 kg, 1 crore ka. His elephant eats 1 crore ka khichdi every day. One tara wala elephant. That actual elephant. So much charity he has, so many trophies he has. Karma. It is all about good and bad karma. You may or may not be a follower of Sri Krishna. Whatever be your religion, Sri Krishna does not belong to a religion. I am not a follower that way. I am from Jainism. I am not from Hinduism. But I believe in all the ideologies and teachings of Sri Krishna because he is not a religion. Krishna is an ideology. Krishna is a way of life. Follow his principles. No, the eighth son of Kunti. Dude. Kunti was mother of Pandavas. 8th son of Devaki. Born on Ashtami. Has given 8 lessons of life. One day, वही धोती कुर्ता में I will keep that session. I will keep that separate session. But believe me, Krishna is not a religion. It's a way of life. तो loyalty का lesson है basically. Property in Bangalore. Google Incorporation has acquired big corporate park, big, massive property, entire building almost there. Google has that money. Now they have purchased the entire building. Now, since the day they have acquired this, bad news has started. COVID came. Because of COVID, the culture has changed. Now employees are not coming to office and working. Most of them are demanding work from home. Employers are granting also work from home. So such a big premise is not required. It is total waste. And then properties ka there is one system you should know, that if they are not being used, so they will deteriorate. So condition is going from bad to worse day by day. Sir, they can't sell such a big property because Google has that much money to buy. Who else has that much money to buy it from Google? They can't give it on rent also because very big property, bigger the property, higher the rent. Had it been small properties, then people with low budget can also afford the rent or the buying price. But such a big property, you need some big, large corporate to actually buy or take it on rent. So the property they are not able to give on rent, they are not able to sell, it is not being used, it is deteriorating day by day. Google is very, very sad. Somewhere, an international conference of tech companies was taking place. So in that conference, Google was represented by Sundar. Sundar? Haan, Pichai wala Sundar, not that Sundar. Haan. Sundar Pichai. And in that same tech conference also was present from another tech giant, a gentleman called Tim Cook. Tim Cook. They know each other. See, they are competitor companies, but at the end of the day, publicly they will always be cordial. Believe me, all competitors in all professions, publicly they will always be respectful. If I will ever criticize a competitor of mine who deserves criticism, I will probably do it privately in front of my students who understand me and who believe me that whatever I will say will be the truth. But publicly, I will never criticize any competitor. Never. And it, culture or ethics also say that you should not be talking publicly about any competitor. Unless someone says anything about you and you are only replying to them. Don't take things like that easily also. Okay. So that way they meet each other, they greet each other. In fact, they are good friends also. So what if we are working in different companies? People working in different political parties are still friends with each other. You never know when you need one another. In fact, unnecessary suggestion I am giving you. Always be good friends with your competitors. You never know when you can be useful for each other. Just imagine a competitor is unwell and says, "Yeah, my chapters are not yet over. Syllabus has to be completed. Exams are approaching. Will you complete these remaining chapters on my behalf?" Or I place the same request. In fact, if a competitor comes and requests me, to finish these chapters for me in front of my students, I may not even take a single penny. Because I am doing this on the grounds of humanity. Not because it is you, but because you and me together want to build better students. So let us work together that whether your students or my students of this course get the best education. You also work hard, I will also work hard. And let the competition be in the profession. So rather we will help each other. At least I can take my guarantee that if a competitor approaches me that please help me to complete my syllabus. Of course, if you tell me that complete the full batch, then I will expect maybe something. But chalo, one batch so I will take for you like that also. On the grounds of only humanity. We want to create that culture. And anyone becomes big only with that kind of culture. If you criticize every move of one another, no, you can't grow unless you are in politics. Because politics, my system is that you have to criticize everything done by the other party. No matter how good it is. So both of them are very good friends of each other. Sundar is a little sad when he's talking. Tim, yaar, everything is fine, but what do I tell you? He's like, tell me what happened. I won't reveal the details or secrets to anyone. Sundar is like, yeah, we have purchased this property in Bangalore, India. By the way, this international conference is going on, maybe say in a country called Russia. So they have met where? In Russia for a tech conference. Tim Cook representing Apple and Sundar Pichai representing Google. Sundar is trying to explain his sorrow. Sir, I have purchased this property in the name of Google, but unfortunately, I am not able to sell it or give it on rent or nothing is happening. I don't know what to do. Such a big property, nobody has money to buy. The moment Sundar started narrating his problems, Tim Cook started getting excited. Tim Cook said, give me more details about this. Where exactly is this property located? Show me the photos and videos if you have. Show me the floor area of the property, what kind of workstations you have built, what kind of internet technology it is. Is it near to the railway station or airport or anything? Give me more details. So Sundar gave all the details. He gave the Google map location, he gave the address, he gave everything. Then Tim Cook said, I love this property. And do you know that we Apple are in expansion mode? Do you know Apple opened India's first store in Mumbai in BKC Geo World, and Mukesh Bhai is getting what, roughly 40-50 lakh rupees rent per month from that Apple ka store. Tim Cook came to Mumbai to inaugurate first store, and same evening he went to Delhi to inaugurate the second store of Apple in India. Same day. We say that the economy is not in good condition, etc. And there was a long queue outside that Apple ka store to buy iPhones. Are you aware of that? And forget that, they opened 2 stores on the same day, and in between Tim Cook also had the time to go and eat vada pav. Do you know this vada pav is the staple food of Maharashtra? We all survive on that. And between 2 inaugurations, he went to eat vada pav with a Bollywood actress, Madhuri Dixit. Madhuri Dixit that way is retired from Bollywood and settled abroad with her husband many years ago. But yes, she is a Maharashtrian by birth and therefore was found to be appropriate to accompany Tim Cook for the main food of Maharashtra, vada pav. And there is one more very, very bad joke attached to this. Horrible joke it is. So leave it, I won't say it only. है ना? Better not to say it only, no? So leave it. So Madhuri Dixit went with Tim Cook and they ate vada pav, and then he inaugurated the second store. So one thing we all understand, that Apple is in expansion mode. They want more and more offices in India, and Bangalore is the that way tech hub. So Apple was interested. Apple said, okay, I like your property. How much do you want? He quoted a particular amount. Of course, human nature, we will always bargain. If I give you anything worth 1,000 rupees for 100, still you will say, sir, 95, no, please. Human nature, we always want to bargain. Whatever be their bargaining skills, they finally decided on the price. Ladies and gentlemen, Google Incorporation has now sold this property to Apple Incorporation. Okay, wait. The negotiations took place where? Outside India. Russia. Anywhere outside India. They signed an agreement where? The payment happened where? See, payment outside India is a very, very important factor. If payment was in India, we don't need the list that we are doing. It is not deemed to be Indian income. Then in that case, it is Indian income. If we are deeming it to be Indian income, what do we mean by that? Payment outside India. So observe this full transaction. Has everything taken place outside India? Agreement outside India, payment outside India, negotiation outside India, end to end the sale deed was executed where? But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, property is Located in India. The property is located in Bangalore, which is in India. So whatever profit Google has generated the profit in the land of India because the property was located in the land of India. If there is sale of any Indian asset, irrespective of where you do agreement, irrespective of where you do the payment, if the asset is located in India, somewhere India is involved, India will take tax on that profit. Means one non-resident selling property to another non-resident. Do you understand? Both of them are non-resident. I want to make you understand one more thing about this part. Supposingly, the owner of this Bangalore property was not Google Incorporation, a foreign company, a non-resident. The owner of this Bangalore property was Reliance Industries Limited, an Indian company. To hell with all of this. Resident hai, Indian or foreign, it is taxable. But in our example, seller is a resident. Non-resident, sorry. Seller is a non-resident. Agreement took place outside India. Payment took place outside India. Everything happened outside India. But still it is going to be considered as Indian income because the asset is located in India. Now read the heading. Profit on sale of asset located in India will be deemed to be Indian. See, this is first point of which list? Incomes which are deemed to be Indian income. And first point, first condition in income which is deemed to be Indian income. Which is the first income? Profit from. Understood what? Why everything has happened outside, still we are considering it as Indian income. Why, sir? Because profit from asset located in India. Is that clear, everyone? Fantastic. Second point, of which list? Deemed to be Indian income. These incomes may not have any Indian connection involved, but still we will consider them as Indian. And now we realize, sir, even if these activities are taking place outside India, why are we deeming it as Indian income? Because there is some Indian connection involved. If the asset is in India, that means the income is being generated by the land of India and therefore it is going to be taxable in India. Is that understood? Fantastic. Second, rent from an asset located in India. Rent from an asset located in India. Same example. If their sale negotiations don't work, finally Apple says that you are asking for too much, shall rent it out to me. Because if you were giving the property at a reasonable price, I would have purchased, but you are asking for too much. We don't want to, or maybe we don't want to invest such a big amount. Google is so happy in earning rent also, no, the property is lying idle right now. So Google is giving Apple the property on rent. Once again, who is earning the income? Non-resident, Google. If it was resident, then we don't need deeming. Every income is taxable. The agreement took place outside India. Payment took place when everything is taking place outside India. Still we are considering it as Indian income because there is some Indian connection involved. Now it makes sense to you? Pakka? Come. Next. Any dividend that you receive from an Indian company will be considered as Indian income. Now again, see, what is this point trying to say? If you understand that, then only you will understand why is this point. That way it is very simple, sir. Dividend from Indian company has to be Indian income. But you are not understanding what. Supposingly I, shareholder of all Adani companies, I am getting dividend. Is that dividend from Indian company?
Yes.
Is that Indian income? Does not it is not required for me because I am already a resident. For me, it is not required. Now, just imagine, can Adani also have a non-resident shareholder? Yes, that means receiver is non-resident. Principle of residence not applicable. So that income can be taxable only on principle of source. For that, it has to be Indian income. Supposingly, Adani is giving you dividend in your country. That means payment has taken place. If payment has taken place in India, in the Indian bank account, then we don't need deemed to be Indian income. It is already Indian income because payment has taken place in India. So do you understand when we are going to apply deeming? When payment is outside India, but is the source of your income located in India? See, the deeming concept is simple. Where is the source located? In this first example, it was profit on sale of an asset. Where is that source? Where is that asset located? That asset is the source of your income. No, where is it located? India. In this second example, in this second case, again that asset is located. In this third case, where is that share located from which that income is being generated? So wherever that asset is located, that place will be considered as the place from where your income is being generated. Wherever the asset is located. Are these shares located in India? So it will be considered as Indian income, taxable for everyone, but our target is non-resident. And remember that in all the cases that I am doing, we have total 9 cases here. So all the examples that I am doing here, our target is non-resident. I hope you are clear on that. Okay, next. Gift. Somewhere in the introduction of your syllabus, I had told you that gift is also included in income, definition of income. When we do income from other sources, no? Now you know heads of income, so I am talking about that. I discussed about gift tax in the first lecture when I did types of tax, direct tax, indirect tax, why government is levying. So in the union list I spoke about it. Now I can tell you that gift in our country is taxable income under income from other sources. Sir, why? Sir, if your employer is giving you gift, then only it can be salary. Anybody who is not your employer, it can't be salary. Obviously, it is not rent, so it can't be house property. Obviously, it is not profit on sale of assets, so it can't be capital gains. And you can't say, sir, what is my business? Sir, I take gift from people, then I don't give it back. That is my business. Gift also cannot be your business. So, gift will always be classified under income from other sources. Is that clear? Supposingly, the receiver of gift is resident. So, we don't need this list. Why, sir? Resident has to pay tax on world income. So, one thing is for sure, that the receiver of this gift is non-resident or RNOR. Then only we need a deeming. This whole deeming concept, this whole Indian income ka definition is relevant only for non-resident. For resident, we are not interested in nature of income. Second thing that you have to understand is that the transaction has taken place. Supposingly a non-resident has come to India and here you have given some gift and the transaction has taken place in India. Is that Indian income? Yes, it is not deemed to be Indian income. It is Indian income. When does deeming apply? When the transaction has taken place outside India. But in this case, the transaction has taken place in India only. Correct? So then in that case, we don't need deeming. But in our example, the transaction has taken place outside. That means, can I say a non-resident is getting gift outside India? Non-resident is getting gift outside. Supposingly, Miloni is getting gift in Italy. Miloni is getting gift in Italy. Non-resident outside India, non-resident outside India. But the person who gave the gift is a Zara kabhi meri nazar se khud ko dekh hai chand mein. We'll keep a vibing session. The way you people are behaving, no, I will stop asking like questions like, anybody here plays musical instruments? You have to say yes like this. And what if at that time I'm not looking at you? Anybody playing musical instruments? क्या? Piano? Properly you have learned fully के लंदन जाके you have learned? अच्छा, ट्रिनिटी कॉलेज लंदन का यहाँ का ब्रांच. ओके. पियानो लर्न करने के लिए you don't have to go to London because otherwise you will not learn सारेगामा पधानिसा. You will learn do re mi fa sol la ti. हाँ, तो we'll keep vibing. कोई guitarist anyone? Anyone joining for vocals? We'll keep sessions. Whenever we are, 4 hour lecture every day we'll be having. The moment you feel like, sir, today it is getting too heavy, sir. Can we have a 10-minute का break? नहीं. Can we have a 10-minute का musical session? You can carry your instrument. वो अभी big one तो you can't carry, but small वाला, हाँ, phone वाला आता है. हाँ. Bro, your current tendency is that you coming to class is also a big thing. Piano you will bring. First you come. Piano agar small portable version, we can permanently keep it here. We have enough space. One day you carry, then we keep it here. So whenever we are bored, we will have session. You play the music and we all will keep vibing. I have, multiple times manifested that I am going to have my own musical group in which we will have one person on, with the piano, one with the guitar, one with any other instrument. At least 3-4 of us will be joining with vocals, and we will be every weekend, at least 2 Sundays in a week, 2 Sundays in a month. Sorry, 2 Sundays in a month. We will be vibing. Not necessary every time you have to come to my place. It can be, so we will, it can be sometimes your place, sometimes my place. I have got no problem. पढ़ाई करो, पढ़ाई. Hey, sir, yes. Sir, we will do that, sir. Sir, we stay nearby. Whenever you call, we will come. Whenever we you can come, we can come. Sir, I also KEM, you also. No. Focus on studying. First, you focus together. Otherwise, together we will have to go to KEM ka mental hospital. Focus on your studies, and after your May attempt, if you still remember who I am, so we will. I have manifested that there will be one group. We will regularly sit together. We will be vibing on the latest trending songs. We will be making 1 reel, 2 reel, 10 reels, and every day we will be having our channel will be the most popular channel on Instagram. Then we will be having short clips on Instagram and longer full song ka videos on YouTube. And then one day we will be invited by people to conduct a concert. पूरा everything manifest कर लिया है, but you need proper disciplined companion. अभी you are not disciplined in your life, in your study also. तो ये तो as a hobby, how disciplined you are going to be in this, it is a very very big question. Every batch I get some student who is, for example, last batch which I just completed, there was 2-3 students who played the guitar, but one was a champ. मतलब she has done advanced level performances with the guitar. We had some sessions during the ongoing batch. Last May I said, abhi May your exam is there. We will talk about it after May. I can't be taking that chance. Can any sir exam to take every 3 months it happens. Group is important. What's your name? खुशी. मिलके बहुत खुशी हुई. That you play instruments, because I genuinely believe that no matter how hard you are working towards your education, you have to always find out time for your hobbies and passions. Always. You don't get time. You have to search for it. If you stop wasting your unproductive time on things that can be done in half an hour, you are taking 2 hours. If you stop wasting that time, you will get time for your hobbies. Always. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, ये सॉन्ग जो फॉर मिलोनी वी वर सिंगिंग, जरा कभी, we will do it professionally later. Right now what you understand is that the gift was given by don't ask sir who is that resident. Sir, we all know who is that resident. We all know who is that resident. Who? मोटा भाई. No. Just imagine Amit bhai giving the gift and then she singing Lo chali main apne devar ki the you were actually imagining this. The person who gave the gift is a resident, and the person who gave the gift is a resident. So the source of the asset is in India. See, supposingly your non-resident friend comes to India and you give the gift in India. If the transaction takes place in India, is that taxable? That means this person will have to pay tax. See, resident has to any which way pay tax. We are targeting and talking about non-resident has to pay tax, if the transaction is in India. So how will this non-resident avoid tax? The non-resident will tell you, I sponsor your air ticket. You have to give me the gift. No gift in the form of jewelry, cash, gold, anything. Do one thing, come to my country and give me the gift there. I will pay for your tickets. Why is the non-resident ready to pay for the ticket? Because saving the tax. How saving the tax? If transaction is done outside India and the receiver is non-resident, so we'll get immunity and escape tax. No, dear non-resident, we will not let you escape tax. If the giver of the gift is, if the giver is resident, then the source of the asset is located in. And just like the previous points, if the source is located in India, then the income is going to be considered as Indian income and it is going to be taxable. Taxable for everyone. Our target obviously is non-resident. Is that clear? So any gift received from a resident, irrespective of place, will be taxable. When we say irrespective of place, believe me, in India, we don't need this point. I hope all throughout you are clear about this. Gift received in India, in any case, it is actual Indian income, not deemed Indian income. Gift received outside India will also be deemed Indian income if the giver is. Is that understood? Everyone? Fantastic. See, with respect to gift ka taxability, you can ask hundreds of questions. Sir, which asset received as gift is taxable? Sir, everything is taxable or nothing? If we have income from other sources chapter, that will go on for 2 lectures. So first lecture will be full chapter and second lecture will be only gift. Gift ka explanation is half of IFOS. Half of IFOS is only gift. So many things written in that chapter. For example, anybody who is your relative, if you receive gift, if it is a relative, supposingly, their husband, wife. See, that way relative ka definition is also very big. But out of all the definitions of relative, the most obvious is your spouse. As long as it is your own spouse. See, neighbor's wife, you can consider yours relative. But legally, that is secret. So, if they are husband wife, gift from relative, exempt. Exempt. Supposingly, it is your marriage. You are getting gift on the occasion of marriage. It is that one occasion of life when even income tax has sympathy with you. That one occasion of life when even income tax has sympathy with you. Gift received on the occasion of marriage is exempt from tax. This you know. But do you know it has to be your marriage? You can't be like, sir, there was a wedding in my building. I was very sad because I was also interested. And therefore, out of sadness, some people gave me gifts. So, exempt. Sir, because there was wedding in my building, in my family, in my area, in my society, in my country. There was wedding in my country. And when I was, as a child, I was going to school. No, in my school days, every morning I used to take one oath. India is my country. All Indians are my. I never said that. See, I am from an all-boys school. And when you study in an all-boys school, no, you are a big dash. The kind of circle you have, the kind of talks we do, we are cheap, to say the least. So when we used to take that oath every morning, India is my country, all Indians are my brothers. Pause. And we directly used to join the third line. I love my country and I am proud of its rich and varied heritage. I shall always strive to be worthy of it. I shall keep my parents, teachers, everyone happy, something like that. Now, the extremely sincere, the topper kind of students, the first benchers, those who are teachers' pet, those kind of students, they used to say, India is my country. Even they used to say, India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters except one. Then we had objection. Why except one? There is no such law, bro. Why say except one? You never know. There can always be more than one. So some of us used to be like, all Indians are my brothers, but not my sisters. To be safe. Some used to take a pause only at that line. Never said the second line. We don't want any risk. But there are some people who said, all Indians are my brothers and sisters. That means everyone is your family member. तो फिर every wedding gift is like that. नहीं, it has to be your wedding. Lots and lots of explanation. But for now, let us assume that your transaction is a taxable gift. Which gift is taxable? Which gift is exempt? For that, we have a full-fledged chapter, income from other sources. If it is a taxable gift, it will be considered as Indian if the giver is resident. If a resident is giving the gift, it is going to be considered as Indian income, Indian income, Indian income, Indian income, Indian income. ये clear है? Next, salary. What is this income called salary? You work for an organization. First you work, then you get paid for it. In our example, one thing is for sure, the payment is outside India, outside India, outside India, outside India, outside India, outside India. Sir, why? Because if payment is in India, we don't have to deem it to be Indian income. It is correct. Payment is outside India. What is the second activity in the income earning process? Payment and work. Now, salary normally accrues at your place of work. Supposingly your office where you are working is in Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata, Jammu and Kashmir, or Kerala, or Tamil Nadu, or Gujarat, or Arunachal Pradesh. It is India. So work done in India. And if work done in India, irrespective of payment, it is Indian income. Or money received in India, it is Indian income. Matlab, one thing is for sure, that this employee has worked outside India. And his payment is also, because if any one of them was in India, we don't want deeming. It is. Here both activities have taken place. But the salary is paid by government. So it will be deemed to be Indian income because the source of your salary is government. If government is paying salary to its employees who are working outside India and their salary is being paid also, but that salary will be deemed to be, everything is happening outside India, but payer is, so the income will be deemed to be Indian income. That income will be deemed to be Indian income. Is that clear? Everyone? Sir, I have a question. Where is this employee working? Outside India. Outside India. Where is this person getting paid? Outside India. Why will government employees work outside India. Huh? How can government employees work outside India? Ambassador, embassy, embassy. See, they are known by different names. Some countries call them embassies. Some countries call them consulates. Some countries call them commission, high commission. They give different names. For example, there is Indian embassy in every country in the world. There is Indian embassy in Singapore. There is Indian embassy in Malaysia. There is Indian embassy in Australia. There is Indian embassy in Thailand. Likewise, every country ka embassy is in India. So, supposingly you want to go to Singapore, so you have to take visa from their embassy here. They will sanction your visa, then only you will be allowed to travel. Supposingly you want to go to European countries. I don't know whether you are aware. They are together working in a zone called European Union, and that zone is called the Schengen zone, under which you have to take the visa of that zone, not a particular country. With that Schengen visa, you enter any of the countries. Say you enter France. Now from France you can travel to Italy, Germany, Poland, Poland to Russia, Italy, Germany, Switzerland. You travel internally, whichever country you are crossing country borders. They like literally have local trains which go from France to Switzerland. But their local trains are not like our local trains, obviously. And not a single minute ka delay. Not a single minute. Every day, every train is sharp on time. Internally, you can travel to any of them. There are roughly about 25 or 27 countries. I don't know the exact number. You can travel visa free because you have visa of that entire zone. Once upon a time, Great Britain. Great Britain comprises of 4 countries: England, Scotland, Wales. There's one more. 4 countries together comprise of that area called Great Britain. So England and Wales we know because it is Institute of Chartered Accountants of England and Wales. Scotland is also a part of that. There's one more country. So, कौन सा है? I think it is Ireland. I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. 4 countries का zone है. They were a part of this European Union. But suddenly, Britain decided to take an exit from this union, and this was, I don't know whether your generation kids are aware of this. This was very, very famously known as Brexit. Britain took an exit from the European Union. It did have some international effect, but things are sorted. Brexit करके, if you ever, they took an exit. मतलब that euro as a currency we use everywhere in Europe. Switzerland का country का currency है Swiss francs, but Switzerland में wherever you go they accept euro. But now Great Britain में you will have to make payment in pounds. If you are carrying euros, you will have to convert. So preferably people, wherever they go, they generally carry US dollars because US dollar is universal. You can go and exchange wherever you want. And pound as a currency is expensive also. वैसे euro is also now 100 rupees. Swiss franc is almost 100 rupees. Indian rupee is devaluing day by day. But these are all macroeconomic issues which you and me have got no control over. End of the day, you have to understand that if you are an Indian having trouble in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Australia, say maybe you have lost your passport, maybe some theft has taken place with you or some misbehavior has taken place, you can directly go to the Indian embassy and ask for help. They will help you, they will rescue. So India has embassies everywhere and all countries have embassies here. Now the Indian embassy in Malaysia, the staff working over there are employees of government of India. The head of these embassy is known as the ambassador, the Indian ambassador in Malaysia. The Indian ambassador in Singapore is the head of that embassy. Do you know who is the current foreign affairs, external affairs minister of our country? Also from Tamil Nadu, Mr. S. Jaishankar. Bro, in the core ministry of our central government, Prime Minister, Home Minister, Defense Minister, Finance Minister, External Affairs. These 5 are core ministries. 2 are from Tamil Nadu. And bro, one is east, other is west. One is north, other is south. One you want to kill at the first available opportunity. You know whom I am talking about. And second, what a guy. You ever hear Mr. S. Jaishankar talking publicly? Any of his public speeches, any of his interviews, the interviewer is shocked with the answers for this. External affairs minister of other country sitting and arguing is left speechless every time Mr. Jaishankar talks. What an educated guy. And I don't know. Suddenly Modi ji has this style from nowhere he will bring people and make them superstars. We have no bloody idea who he is. Till the time he became directly minister. He was never a member of active politics. IAS नहीं IFS. So UPSC की exams he give. UPSC में toppers are called IAS. Then we have IPS, Indian Police Service. We have Indian Revenue Service, with which you become Commissioner of Income Tax, Chief Commissioner, etc. And then there is IFS, Indian Foreign Service. So if you get that rank, you become ambassador, Indian ambassador in any of the foreign countries. What a guy. He has worked as ambassador in multiple countries and the most appropriate guy to become external affairs minister. So all these embassy employees are actually employees of government of India. But obviously work they will do in that embassy, no? So they will be in Malaysia working in the embassy. Work done where? Outside India. Obviously for salary they will not come every month here. So payment received where? Outside India. But the payer of salary is government of India. If the payer is government of India, so the income will be deemed to be Indian income because the source is located in India. ये clear है? Fantastic. Next, point 6. Of which list deemed to be Indian incomes? Is that correct? Chalo. If you have any business activity in India, if your business is in India, it is going to be deemed to be Indian income. Now, to which your reaction will be, so if business is in India, I will be getting all my money here only. Nahi na. Is it possible that you are selling some goods in India, but for that your payment is happening outside India? In fact, is it possible that the sale of goods also has taken place outside India? I'll explain how. Supposingly, I am a bottle manufacturer. In India, I am doing manufacturing activity. Means I have set up my business in India. My manufacturing activity is in India. The production of bottles, the packaging of bottles, everything, the branding, labeling, pricing, everything is decided in India. Is that correct? Now I am boxing these bottles into set of 6, set of 12, and giving these boxes to my employees and telling these employees that here is your ticket to Italy, ticket to Germany, ticket to Australia, ticket to New Zealand. Kindly go to these countries with these bottles, and in those countries you have to go door to door, knock. Will you buy bottles? Very good quality, very low cost. Sell those bottles door to door and come back. The more bottles you sell, the higher commission we give you. So in India, we are not doing any sale activity. The sale activity has taken place outside India. And when the customer agrees to buy the bottle, the money is also received. While the entire activity has been done outside India, the base of the business is set up. And therefore, if the business is set up in India, it is going to be considered as Indian income, irrespective of where you are doing your activity, where you are getting your payment. I must tell you this very clearly one more time. If payment was in India, we don't need deeming as a concept. If payment is in India, it is going to be considered as Indian income. Is that clear, everyone? हाँ. लेकिन this rule has got 2 exceptions. two exceptions. मतलब these two situations will not be deemed to be Indian incomes. These two activities won't be considered as Indian income. If your business is in India, it is Indian income, Indian income, Indian income, Indian income. But the following activities will not be considered as business in India, and therefore the following activities will not be considered as Indian income. Business in India will be considered as Indian income, but following activities will not be considered as Indian income. Are you understanding this? Sir, what are these following activities? 1. If your Indian activity is confined to making purchases, I come to India only for purchases. Matlab, I have not set up any office in India. I am not doing any manufacturing activity. I come to India from Germany. I buy these bottle ka boxes. I purchase and I go away. And now these bottle ka boxes which I have only purchased in India, other than purchase, I am not doing anything. I am doing that door-to-door sale in Australia, New Zealand, everywhere. Of course, work done outside India, money received outside India. But is this business set up in India? No, sir. Your Indian activity is limited to the activity of purchasing. And I am going to ask you a stupid, silly, ridiculous question. If you want to know the logic, the insulting question this is. Income is generated at what point of time? At the time of purchase or at the time of sale? Obviously, purchase activity cannot contribute to income. Income will be generated only if sale takes place. And your Indian activity is limited to purchases. Sale is not taking place in India. See, if sale is taking place in India, then we don't need deeming. It is Indian income. Money received in India, then we don't need deeming. It is Indian income. But India mein your activity is limited to, confined to, restricted to purchases. And there is one hidden agenda also here. See, if we make this activity Indian income, that means this assessee will have to pay tax. Even though they are selling outside, then they will avoid making purchases from India. See, we will leave your tax. So you will happily purchase from India. So at least the seller in India will earn profits, no? Foreign money will come, and from that seller we can recover any tax that we want. We are happy that you are purchasing Indian stuff and taking it. And other than purchase, you are not doing anything, no? So we will not take tax from you. Is the logic why this income is not going to be declared or considered as Indian income. Is that clear, everyone? So, if your business is set up in India, it is going to be considered as Indian income. However, it will not include an activity which is limited to purchases, and it will also not include any activity relating to shooting. अरे shooting मतलब सलमान खान नहीं, shooting of films or collection of data or news. If your activity is limited to this, it won't be considered as Indian income. These are two different examples. Collection of data is different from shooting of films. I will talk about both of them one by one. First, let's talk about shooting of films. A lot of foreign films ka shooting does take place in India. One big reason is low cost sets. Another reason is that in any foreign movie, when they want to show slums, poverty, garib, so India is naturally garib. Natural. She said no, yes. Never sit with such friends. Anyone who gives your name is not your friend. हाँ, वो तो सुनो गरीब. Listen. India is naturally poor. So when they want to show poverty, when they want to show slums, when they want to show any such things, so what do? They come for shooting to India. They come for shooting in India. Arey films. What do? India. Leave. They come to India. Everyone is with me? I don't know whether you are aware, some years ago, Hollywood actor Tom Cruise had come to India. In Mumbai, they did shooting for a movie Mission Impossible. हाँ, Mission Impossible का one of the movies का some scenes were shot in India. But what did they do? They come here. They conduct their shooting activity. They record that and they leave. They are not indulging in any income producing activity. They are only shooting the film and leaving. By the way, if any foreign producer comes for shooting here, he will need local support. He will need services of local technicians, local staff, and everyone here will get paid for that. So in any case, you are coming and spending money. Welcome, most welcome. If we make this Indian income, then this producer ka profit generated worldwide will become taxable in India. Then people will stop coming to India. We don't want tax from you. Only shooting activity will not be considered as Indian income. And similar is the case of collection of data or news. Just before COVID, a big event had taken place in Ahmedabad, India. Namaste Trump. Namaste Trump was an event. Coincidentally, I was in Ahmedabad at that time taking lectures. And hotel rates, etc. were sky high at that time. But I had thankfully my fixed regular hotel in which I used to always stay. Higher than this was during India's World Cup final. Bro, that my regular hotel guy also said, sir, I can't accommodate you. I said, you can't say no to me. Otherwise, I will stop coming to your hotel. You have one room that you have kept for yourself. The owner had one room for himself. I said, you leave. You go to your house. Every hotel mein, they reserve one room for, keeping their like mineral water ka bottles, etc. Like a storeroom, they keep it. And if it is not used as a storeroom, maybe they have other space. So the owner keeps one room reserved for himself. The by chance, supposingly, it's too late for him working till late, then he can stay over there only. I said, you give me your room if there is no other room available. So because I was a frequent visitor to that hotel. During Namaste Trump, I don't know whether you are aware of the memes of Namaste Trump. Trump was speaking in slightly he was trying. So he said, Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, Swami Vivekananda. And Modi ji said, Mr. Dolan Trump. You've seen that or no? Modi ji said it. Dolan Trump. All those videos are still available. Believe me, dear students, media from across the world was in India at that time. Full world ka media persons were in India. So what did they do? They came. They did coverage of the event. They collected data. It can be print data, electronic data, digital data in the form of videos, interviews. And they remitted that data, sent that data to their head office. For example, some BBC ka journalist is here. He will record the videos and send that to the head office in London. And now broadcasting of these videos or printing will take place in their local newspapers, local TV channels over there. So their Indian activity was restricted to collection of data, collection of news. We can't make that activity Indian income, because if we do that, so foreign media will stop coming to our country. Please understand, why are we not making this Indian income? If we make it Indian income, that means they will have to pay tax. And if they have to pay tax, then they will not come only for purchasing. Our sellers will lose income. What about this, sir? Sir, if we make this Indian income, they will have to pay tax. So producers will stop coming to India for shooting. And then the local industry will also lose revenue. If we make this Indian income, so journalists will stop coming. My first question to you is, do you know that in newspapers, every newspaper, front page they'll put all the spicy news, inside they will put city news, about 2-3 pages will be on national news, last few pages are sports news, in between you will also have one page of international news. Every newspaper prints international news. So will we also want that New York Times or London Times, they print news about India? Should New York Times print about how efficiently Namaste Trump was handled? Should New York Times print about how India handled COVID vaccine better than any other country? I am surprised that some people compared the Prime Minister of New Zealand ka effective handling of COVID. Prime Minister of New Zealand, Jacinda Ardern, she administered COVID vaccine to her country ka people the fastest, I believe. And New Zealand was, I think, one of the first countries which was COVID free. And people were appreciating, wow, wow, India should learn something. Bro, I'll tell you what. Okay. The total population of New Zealand. You go and count people at Dadar railway station right now. At Mumbai, mein, there is a place called Dadar railway station. You go and count people only on the bridge. Don't count the passengers in the trains. Don't count those who are climbing the bridge or going down from the bridge. Only people on the bridge is more than the population of New Zealand. If you count the people climbing the bridge, it will, in fact, it will be double. And supposingly, couple of trains are delayed and more people are waiting. Bro, it will probably be Australia and New Zealand together. And I am talking only about one railway station of Mumbai. That way, Dadar is considered as the father of the entire Mumbai rail network. Because this is that junction which connects all the different train routes of Mumbai. So, the point is that New Zealand handling COVID effectively is not such a big news. As much as India, we are a population of 1.5 billion, 150 crores. And see, whatever be your political inclination, we are all allowed to have. Today, you have to give the Prime Minister credit of the fact that India's digital payment system is a case study for developed countries. They are still wondering how. How? Go to developed countries, America, you go to London, you go to Australia, you go to any of these so-called developed countries, Singapore, Thailand, every public place that you go, either you carry the local currency or you carry your credit cards, debit cards, plastic money or cash money. You cannot be having one handheld device with which you are scanning a QR code and making digital payments. Tadadang, tadadang, tadadang. You do Google Pay, Google Pay, Google Pay as if literally Google is paying from morning to night. And by the way, you're not doing Google Pay. You are doing a UPI transaction. And next time, don't be stupid to go to that shopkeeper and tell that shopkeeper, uncle, scanner. No, bro. That is a QR code. Scanner is your phone. You are scanning. Your phone is the scanner. What that uncle is giving is not scanner. That is QR code or the UPI ID or the number. We can make bank transfer without bank details. Don't say uncle scanner. Array, your phone is the scanner. It's a case study. France ka president Mussolini, something like that his name is. Something, what's France ka president ka name? Anyone knows? There's this guy, France ka president. He came to India and our Prime Minister took him to a tea shop. He himself did not make it. He just took him there with all the camera persons because our Prime Minister is a camera loving guy. So after they had the tea, then our Prime Minister opened his phone. He scanned the QR code of that shopkeeper and he showed him, see, this is how we make payment in India. Video is available publicly because all camera persons were. Forget that. Our prime minister is human version of thug life. You know thug life? Na 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 na. You know thug life? Thug life, you know. Our prime minister is human version. He sat with Bill Gates and he was explaining Microsoft Windows to Bill Gates. He was explaining in his mobile technology, he was explaining to Bill Gates, who is founder of Microsoft. Our PM was explaining what? Windows to the owner of Microsoft. Human version of thug life. And you know, during your syllabus at so many places, I will tell you about the amendments that Modi ji has brought. You'll be serious, like, bro, what brain this guy has. What brain. You can dislike him in democracy, but you have to appreciate him for the fact that he has given digital payment ka message to the whole world. People are, you know, in other countries now learning concepts of Google Pay, Phone Pay, etc. Modi ji, you have to give him credit for this. You have to give him credit for the fact that developed countries now respect India. They don't take India for granted now. Whatever be your political inclination, you are entitled to. But one thing you should understand, that even in democracy does not mean that criticize everything of one person and appreciate everything. I criticize the government for all the wrong decisions, but at the same time, it is my duty to appreciate the good things. Right now, I am talking about the good things. I do not belong to any political party. Do you understand? I said so many good things about Rajiv ji also because he deserves it. About Nehru ji, about Indira ji also for that matter, despite the fact that she levied emergency. But what is good, you have to appreciate. See, all humans, we have some good things, some bad things in us. Now, it's you know, beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. You see the good things in me or the bad things. So, I see the good things in all these political leaders because no political leader is 100% good. You have to choose who is the lesser devil. Lesser devil, bigger comedian. You have to choose on that basis. So he taught this respect to the world. He taught digital. Bro, he has given a big lesson recently to whole world, to the whole country, that there is no age of falling in love. You can fall in love at any age. In fact, your crush actually divorced her spouse. Do you know that? Italian Prime Minister had a divorce. Planning. She underwent a divorce. Are you not aware of that? There is no age. And just imagine if it works out between them. Just imagine, because we all in our conservative Indian families have one PM supporter. At least one will be supporter. If your family member is against your crush, against, bro, there, if it works out, they will open doors for all interfaith marriages. If he can do it, so anyone can do it. If he can do at this age, so bro, I am so young. Then there is no harm. Of course, one minus point is that their age gap is 28 years. Bro, if I take my age and minus 28 years, the thought of it makes me feel disgusting. I will go to jail even if I think about it. My age minus 28 years. No, the thought is also a crime. It's a criminal thought. But at least my age, someone my age, preferably married, even better with kids. If he can do it, then why can I not? He is the Prime Minister, no? Look at how he has done so many good things. But do we want the world to know all this? How will the world know all this? If we don't allow them to print our news. No, we have to let them collect data here and print the news, no bro. They will collect the data from here and print the news in their TV channels or newspapers. And only for the data collection, we can't make their income taxable. Otherwise, they will stop coming to India for news collection or shooting of films. So normally, if your business is set up in India, it is going to be, kya bro? Indian income. However, what? If the activity is limited to, confined to purchases, then we will not consider it as Indian income. If the activity is limited to shooting of films or news or data collection, then we will not consider it as Indian income. Is that correct? Everyone is clear on this? Fantastic. Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we have last 3 points remaining. In which list? Incomes deemed to be Indian incomes. I will start with you at 3:15 sharp. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Let's go ahead. We have to now do the last 3 points of what? Incomes deemed to be Indian incomes. We are done with 6, no? These incomes, may money is received outside India, but still we will deem them to be Indian income, sir. Income number 7, income in the nature of interest. First of all, do you understand, realize, do you agree that in respect of the other incomes like dividend income or rent income, etc., they are basic, we understand. What is this interest income? When does one pay interest to other? When will anyone pay interest to anyone? Loan, example. Debentures, example. Whenever you borrow funds, loan only. Whenever you use money belonging to another person, see, if you use asset, then you pay rent. But if you use money, funds, capital, so the user of funds, whom we can call the borrower, will be paying interest to the owner of funds. Do you understand? The user of funds will be paying interest to the owner of the user of funds will be paying interest to the owner of funds. Do you understand? Do you understand? It is this person who has received the income. If at all we will discuss income tax, we will discuss income tax for this person. Because for this person it is not income, it is expense. And in my story, this person has to be a non-resident. Because if the receiver of income is resident, I don't need any definition of Indian income or foreign income. Everything is taxable. And the second thing, that the interest that is being paid here, the payment has taken place. Because even if it is non-resident and the payment is in India, we don't have to deem it to be Indian income. It is Indian income. Do you understand? So what we started with, that deemed wala heading, we still stick to that. What are the things that we started? We said our target is non-resident, and second, payment has taken place outside India. Do you understand this part? Now, this income is going to be deemed to be Indian income. Sir, why? Because ultimately the receiver is getting interest outside India and the receiver is a non-resident. Then how can you deem the income to be Indian income? That will depend on this user. That will depend on this user. See, understand. We started Indian income ka definition by understanding the income earning process. The income earning process contains two activities. First, work, and second, payment. Work and payment. Work and payment. In this, we are talking about payment. The payment has taken place outside India. But what you need to understand about interest is that interest is not an income where you work. It is an investment income. Or understand the next sentence carefully. Listen to the next sentence carefully, everyone. In interest, you don't work. Your money works. If you are able to digest this statement, you will understand everything that will happen here. I repeat. In interest, you don't work. Your money works. Correct again? You are not working, your money is working. So, when we say work done, we say if work done is in India, so it is Indian income. But here, who is working? You are not working. Your money is working. And listen to this now. Where is your money working? Wherever this person is using. Think about it. You have given money to this person. This person is using your money. That usage is generating your interest. So we will go and check where is he using the money. If he is using the money in India, then your interest is getting generated in India. Even if payment is outside India, even if you are non-resident, you will have to pay tax by deeming that income to be. So we have to go and see the borrower's place of usage of funds. You understood? You understood? This income will be deemed to be Indian income if the borrower is user of funds, if the borrower is government, full stop. Matlab interest paid by government to NR, outside India. Payment in India, we don't want deeming. Receiver is resident, we don't want deeming. So these two facts in my story will remain. Who is paying the interest? Who is paying the interest? Government. Think about it. We understood the logic. Sir, what logic? We will see where is this person using the funds. If this person is using the funds in India, the interest is getting generated in India. And if this person is using the funds outside India, the interest is getting generated outside India. If this person is government, it means the funds are being used in India only, whether we mention or we don't mention. It is taken for granted, it is assumed, it is understood without being said that if government is borrowing funds from a non-resident, why? To make bullet train in Pakistan. If government is borrowing money, for example, government of Maharashtra did borrow some money for making some of its projects, from Japan. Why? Government of Maharashtra will borrow, so they will use the money in Maharashtra, not even in Gujarat. So please understand, if government is borrowing, so obviously the government will use the funds in India. One second, bit. If government is borrowing, so obviously the government will use the funds in India. Therefore, where is your income being generated? In India. Therefore, even if you are a non-resident, it will be considered as Indian income. And if it is Indian income, it will be taxable for you even if you are a non-resident, because Indian income is taxable for everyone. If payer is government, it is deemed to be Indian income. You have to pay tax. If payer, you understand, this person is payer. By the way, this person is not the person who is going to pay tax. Tax will be taken from this person. It is his income. But his usage will decide his taxability. If this is government, so you have to pay tax. What is the second possibility? It is not government, but the borrower is a resident. Now think about it. If the borrower is resident, then where will the borrower normally be living? In India. And therefore the borrower will be using the funds where? In India. And therefore the interest is being generated where? In India. And therefore it is Indian income. Therefore you have to pay tax even if you are not resident. If the borrower is resident, it is taken for granted that the borrower will be using the money in India, correct? But sir, here you can ask doubt. Sir, in government, it is not possible only that they will use my money outside India. But in case of a resident borrower, see, resident is in India for some time. But there can always be some other part of the year, some other time during the year where the resident is staying outside India. There can always be such time during the year. Bolo, yes or no? Yes. So, is it possible that the resident has used my funds outside India? Now, if the resident has used my funds outside India, then my interest is being generated outside India. Then we cannot deem that income to be Indian income. Do you agree and understand? Pakka 100%. So what they have given here after this is that when a resident is giving you interest, it is going to be considered as, when a resident is giving you interest, it is going to be considered as Indian income. However, there is an exception to this rule. Ha. Sorry. So, if government is paying, where are your funds being used? In India, without mentioning anything. If a resident is paying, normally where your funds will be used? In India. So, it is deemed to be Indian income. But sometimes is it possible that resident is using your funds outside India? So, we will exclude those situations. So, now your problem is solved. No. Excluding resident is paying, so is it going to be deemed to be an Indian income? Yes. Except if the funds were used. So, end of the day, do you understand what do we have to take home from here? Where are my funds being used? Government is using without mentioning anything. It will be used in India only. But resident is using, there are both possibilities, in India or outside India. If used in India, then it is Indian income. And if used outside India, so we are removing it. That will not be Indian income. It is deemed to be Indian income only if the funds are being used. Only if the funds are being used in India. So makes sense, wherever my funds are used, there my interest is being generated. Is that clear? Third.
सर अगर वो जो लोन लिया है वो अगर प्रॉपर्टी खरीदने के लिए आउटसाइड इंडिया
Outside India only. If it is outside India, so funds are used outside India. So it is not Indian income. Correct? Hai? Third. So ultimately, what is the criteria? Where is my money being used? In government, they are not mentioning place because they are assuming it will be in India. But for other people, they are mentioning the place. So if resident is using, it is Indian income only if used in India. And we are removing if used outside India. If you have really understood now the explanation about and around interest, the third point, which is incomplete right now, you will be able to complete with me for me. Please understand, this time this borrower is a means one non-resident is paying interest to another non-resident, and that payment also is just imagine Joe Biden is giving a loan to Hillary Clinton, who fought against Kamala Harris. Joe Biden is giving a loan to Kamala Harris. That means Kamala Harris will pay interest to Joe Biden. This is Joe Biden, the receiver. Kamala Harris, the payer. Obviously, the interest will be paid. How can we make that taxable in India? How can, see, if we tell Joe Biden you pay tax on this interest, just imagine how he will react. He will declare war against India. Sir, there is no Indian connection. Then how can this income be Indian income? How is that possible? How is that possible? If, come on, if the funds are used in India, if the funds are used in, wait. Oh, Suraj Babu, wait. You have written the full line? But do you understand there is some gap here? So have patience. Have patience. And please allow me to explain this. This much part everyone understood now. So if a non-resident is also paying interest to non-resident, if the funds are used in India, it will be considered as Indian income. So the whole conclusion of this story is simple. Where are my funds being used? If the funds are being used in India, it will be considered as Indian income. And if the funds are being used outside India, it will be considered as foreign income. Matlab not deemed to be Indian income. Government is paying, assume that it is in India. Resident is paying, normal assumption is in India. But if used outside India, remove it. Non-resident is paying, normal assumption is outside India. But we will take it only if used in India. So end of the day, everyone has understood that the place of utilization of my funds will decide my income. Is that clear? Did I in today's lecture only tell you that our income tax law is extremely logical, 95% plus cases? But there are some handful cases and places where our income tax law tends to be slightly illogical, slightly out of control. And in today's lecture, we already saw one situation that for determination of ROR or RNOR of HUF, we were actually checking Karta. And I at that time told you that one more case we'll see today itself. The second case is non-resident is using funds of non-resident in India. If the funds are used in India, then it is Indian income. But for this, they have mentioned that the funds are being used for business in India. Then only it is Indian income. Funds are being used for, means I am a non-resident. I have borrowed money from another non-resident for my business and I am using that business money in India, then it is Indian income. Means supposingly I am a non-resident. Think about it. Non-resident. I borrow money from another non-resident bank, say Standard Chartered, non-resident bank, Citibank, non-resident, foreign bank, for buying a property in India. Non-resident paying interest to non-resident. Money is being used in India. Not for business, but for acquiring property. Car loan, home loan, then that is not going to be considered as Indian income. Ideally, the correct logical answer should have been any usage of funds in India should be considered as Indian income. But they are considering only business here. Means other than business, if there is any borrowing and the funds are being used in India, so the receiver does not have to pay tax because it will not be considered as Indian income. Illogical, because our government is going to lose some tax revenue. Actually, this should be removed and they should keep it what? Any usage of funds in India. But what are they keeping it as? Usage of funds for business in India. The second place where income tax law is slightly illogical. Quite a few places totally in the law, but coincidentally in the very, first time only you come across, same lecture you come across the first two situations. So finally, user of funds is going to pay interest to lender of funds. Borrower will pay interest to lender. Lender is NR. If resident, we don't want deeming. Is that clear? Second, in payment took place outside India. Payment in India, we don't need deeming. It is Indian income. That means that way everything has happened outside India. Then why are we deeming it to be Indian income? If government is paying, funds are used in India without mentioning anything. If resident is paying, then also funds are used in India, except if used outside India, then we will remove. And if non-resident is paying, so we will consider only if funds are being used in India, but only for the purpose of business. Small defect, but this is what you will have to take home from here. Okay. Income number 8. Income in the nature of loyalty. Royalty. Interest, maybe we discussed who pays to whom. Can someone throw some light on what is royalty income? Because remember, just like interest, one person is going to pay royalty to the other. The receiver here is going to be non-resident and the payment in our example has to be outside India. Therefore, we need deeming. For example, in interest, we said, what is interest? Interest is compensation for usage of funds. So likewise, what is royalty? Because if you know the meaning, then only you better understand the taxability of it. Anyone wants to throw light on what is royalty? Like this is compensation for usage of funds. What is royalty? Any idea, anyone? Don't tell each other, tell me. Trademark, patent. Kya trademark, patent? These are names of assets. Intangible asset. But what is royalty, I am asking? So say this, no. Whenever someone is using my patent, trademark, drawing, brand, name, design, then I will pay some compensation for using that. See, copyright, patent, trademark, drawing are examples. Correct term is usage of intangible asset. Even better is usage of intellectual property. IPR, intellectual property rights. Compensation for usage of intangible asset. Compensation for usage of what, bro? Intangible asset, intellectual property rights. When I use your land, building, plant, machinery, furniture and fixture, I pay you rent. But when I use your intangible asset, I pay you royalty. So do you understand there is going to be an owner of intangible asset, an owner of brand who will get royalty from the user of brand. The user of the brand will pay royalty to the owner of the brand. Again, income earning process is of two steps. Payment is outside. Which is the second activity? Work. Now, do you understand? Just like interest, here we don't work. We don't work. My asset is working. In interest, my money was working. In royalty, my asset is working. Rent, maybe we did that only, no? If the asset is located in India. So here also it will be the same thing. Where is this person? Where is this person using my intangible asset? Just like we did this no, here also. Where is this person using my funds? So where is this person using my intangible asset? If using in India, the royalty is generated in India and therefore it will be Indian income and therefore it will be taxable. But if the user is using outside India, so royalty is generated outside India, then it cannot be Indian income. So still we will take tax from residents, but we cannot and we will not take tax from non-residents. Do you understand? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you observe this, we are defining the user. If the user of my intangible asset is government, it goes without saying, it is taken for granted, it is assumed forever that the asset will be used where? In India, and therefore the royalty is being generated where? In India, and therefore it is going to be Indian income taxable. Matlab anybody getting royalty from government, irrespective of the place of payment, it is going to be taxable in India. Correct? But what if some other resident is given? So resident ordinarily will use your asset where? In India. Therefore, where is your royalty being generated? In India, and therefore it is going to be Indian income taxable, excluding if used or except if. Now, if you have understood the interest wala full story, resident, except if, this time I will not say funds, but I will say if the asset, which asset? Intangible asset, IPR, used, come on, outside. So can I say it becomes the same? If used in India, it will be considered as Indian income. But if used outside India, it will be considered as foreign income. And third and the last case, non-resident. Matlab one non-resident is paying royalty to another non-resident. Then how can it be Indian income? If the asset was used, and ladies and gentlemen, here they have not kept that illogical thing. What was illogical in interest in the third point? Used for business. Arey bro, I can use funds for any purpose as long as used in India, it should be Indian income. But they granted immunity and they are only losing tax. But here they have kept it as the normal rule. So effectively and ultimately, the place of usage of your asset will decide taxability. In interest, you still had to be careful that in case of non-resident, only if used for business. In royalty, it is very simple. Wherever this person is using, whether government, resident or non-resident, government taken for granted, it will be using in India, and for resident and non-resident, if used in India for any purpose, it will be Indian income. Used outside India, so it will not be Indian income. So if you understand interest, you automatically and easily understand royalty ka tax treatment, because the tax treatment is same and that one small illogical part of interest is removed also. Ye clear hai? And the last income, ladies and gentlemen, fees for technical services known as FTS. Fees for technical services, FTS. So please understand, there is a service provider. This service provider is providing technical services. This service provider is providing technical services, obviously, to the service receiver. And in return, the service receiver will be paying fees, which can be called as fees for the technical services that you are giving me. Whatever technical services you are giving me, for that I have to pay you some fees. This is the fees for the technical services that you have given. This is the fees for the technical services that you have given me. Obviously, the service provider is a non-resident and this fees ka payment has taken place. Because once again, ladies and gentlemen, please understand that if payment in India, we don't need deeming. It is actual Indian income. And if receiver is resident, we again don't need deeming, because whether Indian or foreign, everything is taxable. And if I have to teach you now the tax treatment, the rule is very simple. Like income number 7 and 8, where has this person used the services? If this person has used my services, I am the assessor. If this person has used my services in India, first it was used my funds, then it was used my intangible asset. Now it is used my, if this person has used my services in India, then it will be considered as Indian income. But if this person has used my services outside India, then it will be considered as not Indian income. Correct? So, once again, if this person is government, whether mentioned or not mentioned, it is taken for granted that the services are used in India, therefore deemed to be Indian income, it will be taxable. If this person is resident, so it is assumed that he will be using my services in India, except if used outside, because if used outside India, it cannot be Indian. Government mein that question only does not arise, but for other people, it can be in India, outside India. If in India, then we will consider it as Indian income, otherwise we will not. You tell me the third point. Non-resident. If used what? If used the services in India. And again, that illogical part which existed only in the interest case, that illogical part again does not come. It existed only under interest. That non-resident to non-resident only is used for business. That part existed only under interest, does not exist here. So effectively, can I conclude? Interest, royalty or FTS. In these three cases, if payment is happening outside India, see, payment in India, we don't need deeming. Receiver is non-resident, because if receiver was resident, then again we don't need this. If payment is outside India and receiver is non-resident, so we will see the place of usage of your asset. Case 1, it was funds. Case 2, it was intangible asset. And case 3, it was services provided by this service provider. Based on the place of usage, we will decide taxability. If it is government, then the place, without mentioning anything, is assumed to be India, therefore Indian income. If it is resident, then also it is India, except if used outside India, then exclude. And if it is non-resident, so we will consider it in India only if the non-resident actually used in India, but in interest there is an extra condition only if used for business. In other places, in other cases, there is no such conditions. Ye clear hai? So can I say interest, royalty, FTS ka taxability is same? One last part which you should have asked me earlier, or maybe you were waiting for me to tell you. Interest is compensation for funds. Royalty is compensation for using intangible asset. What is technical services? See, we know the taxability. Just imagine, you going giving the exam, they say fees for technical services, services used in India. So taxable, and services not used in India. So foreign income still taxable for resident. You get the correct answer. You get your marks. You become a CA, but a very bad CA. Because you know the tax treatment of fees for technical services, but you don't know what is technical services. This fees for technical services ka concept has been gifted by India to the world. Developed countries consider royalty and FTS as one and the same. But India says, nahi sir. When I have created an asset and I can give you the asset without my involvement, that is royalty. But when the services are associated with human knowledge, then it will be fees for technical services. Supposingly, I give you my computer systems under annual maintenance contract. So you have knowledge of repairing the computers. Generally, AMC is what? For computers, ACs, anything. Cars also these days, companies are giving. That if there is any part which is defective, I will have to pay for that. The labor will be free. You have technical knowledge and I am paying you for your knowledge. By the way, it is not a professional degree that you have. Because if it is degree, we call it professional fees. What we pay to chartered accountants, doctors, lawyers, engineers, we call it professional fees. But here the receiver does not have degree, only knowledge of a particular area. So global countries, developed countries, they say knowledge is same as intangible asset. But here I have to be involved, so we consider it as a separate thing. If I give you my asset like patent, drawing, design, trademark, so it is royalty. If I am involved in providing the services, it will be called technical services, human brain. AMC of your computers or ACs is one example. If you want examples. Another example, supposingly you buy a SIM card. Anybody having Jio SIM here? Thank you for raising your hand. Thank you. Jio SIM. Supposingly there is some network issue. So obviously what do you do? Mukesh bhai, no network Mukesh bhai. Yes, bol. Haan. Mukesh bhai is your friend. He will answer your call. Lol. No, you will call whom? The customer care. What if I tell you that the customer care is not employee of Reliance? This activity is outsourced to a third party. You are the owner of a call center. I am the owner of Reliance. I tell you that, see, I am selling SIM cards. I want to focus on that. My area is focus on SIM card, build better technology, everything. That is my area of business. If my customers have issues, that you take care. You handle my customer care. I will give you their data, their contact number. You input the data in your systems and customers will call and you handle those calls. Obviously, you will need staff, trained staff, knowledge wala staff. Staff should know how to talk. Customer care employees, believe me, have such good training that no matter how you talk to them, they will always be polite. Bro, these developers, I made the mistake of visiting some of their projects. So when you visit their project, in the form they take your number. Every day they make phone calls. Same number, different people. I have spoken the worst possible bad words. I said, never call me you dash. Next day, sometimes the same guy calls again. Sir, any change of mind? They are trained to be immune from something. When this did not work, I tried another thing. That lady called. I was like, ma'am, your voice is so sweet. I'll buy property, whichever property you say, why don't we meet once? We'll sit and discuss. Coffee? Someone told me a lot can happen over coffee. That day she didn't talk. Next day she again called. I'm like, Bas Baba, I'm tired. But they are trained staff. They are told that whatever the customer says, you have to be normal and proper. So that is knowledge of how to talk to people. And obviously, Reliance is going to pay this call center owner money. It is also famously known as business process outsourcing, BPOs. You are providing me technical services, that is, you are handling my customer care because you have knowledge, not degree. And I am paying you fees for technical services. Did you understand? When you have knowledge of a particular area without having a professional degree, it is going to be considered as technical services, and the money that you pay for that will be fees for technical services. Supposingly, Reliance has given its customer care to some foreign company, non-resident. and payment is also happening outside India. Let's take that example. So can that fees for technical services be taxable for the receiving call center owner? If government is paying, taxable. If Reliance, a resident, is paying, taxable. And Reliance is using for customers in India. If it was using for customers outside India, so not taxable. But it is being used in India. And supposingly, there is some other telecom company, which is also a foreign company. That company is paying this call center for handling some of its customers in India. So non-resident to non-resident, but related to India. For customers in India, the services are being used in India, then it will be considered as Indian income. Where your services are being used will decide the place where your income is being generated. Royalty and FTS are same, just that royalty, the value is in the asset, and FTS, the value is in the human brain, the human knowledge without degree. The moment you get degree, it becomes professional fees. This is without degree. Knowledge does not require degree. First lecture I told you that CA course will give you that most powerful degree where your signature is more powerful than the Prime Minister. But by chance I will not let it happen as long as you are in my control. Unfortunately, the moment students get out of CA intermediate, they lose touch, they lose all, the moment they enter that corporate world and they are subjected to inhuman treatment over there in articleship, they lose all their emotions, everything. They are not in touch. If you are in my touch, I am not going to let you go or let you leave CA. I will make sure it is my responsibility that kuch bhi ho jaye, I'll make you complete this course. But supposingly you go out of my control, because I run mentorship programs for students who are having difficulties in one subject or the other. Many a times it is possible that one subject somehow you are not following. What should be the change in approach? I run one-to-one mentorship on this, subject wise, student wise, because everyone is not same. Your accounts is good, but your costing is good. Array, your theory subjects are not so good. Is it possible one is good in theory, other is good in practical? Now, the subject in which you are good, if you get an average teacher also, you will manage. But the subject in which you are not good, and if teacher is not up to the mark, so what will you do? That is where a lot of students face difficulties, that their difficult subject was not handled properly. Thankfully, here we don't have that issue. But in case across the country anybody has issues, I do one-to-one meetings with students under this mentorship program. So those who are in my control, I don't let them leave CA. By chance, if you are not in my control, which today's generation in nobody's control, not even parents' control, I don't know, that one person whom you were thinking about may be in that person's control. The knowledge that this course gives, that is bigger than any degree, because you can use this in your day-to-day life. So that human knowledge is separately covered as fees for technical services. Is that clear to everyone? The taxability. With this, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what if I tell you that residential status? I told you this, that fourth lecture, 2 chapters will get over. Question answer still remaining, because now the books have arrived at that branch, so it will come. So tomorrow we will be doing questions. By the way, we will be doing questions. And if you have not revised, especially that individual ka residential status yesterday's lecture, so believe me, I will not do the questions. Okay. So we will be doing questions, and we will of course be going to calculation of entity and tax. That big part of your syllabus is starting. First 2 chapters hereby are over. Income is Indian income if work done in India, or money received in India, or deemed to be Indian income. Everyone is clear? All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's your lecture for the day.